I'ma put them killer ants in your pants.
Welcome back, episode 102 of Revisited, and I just remembered what episode it was right now.
Well, it's going to be easy for the next couple of weeks, maybe.
Nah, I'm going to get lost in the sauce very soon. I can feel it. We are returning to Filmspeak. I think we did one of the Man of Steels or something. Justice League. Ugh. And with the video, surprise! Antman 3 is much better than you think. So, I was going through it, and, when you look up a video, especially if you look at it through Google, it'll show you, like, the first or second timestamp of it. Mm-hmm. And I saw the timestamps, and they were all goofy things from the movie. Like, I have holes now. So I'm like, oh no, is this a joke video, and do we have to pivot? So I had to listen to, like, 3 seconds of it. No, he's completely serious.
I looked at the comments.
Yeah, no, it's completely serious.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I just got done watching this movie. And by I just got done, I mean 15 minutes before we hit record, I finished watching this movie.
I watched half of it last night. I fell asleep, and I watched the rest this morning.
Hey, it is a movie.
Man.
We say it a lot, but I have never seen such a movie as this.
If I felt stronger about it, I would hate it.
Yes!
But I don't.
If it was attached to a character I loved, I would hate it.
Yes.
If it was attached to a storyline I particularly like, I would hate it.
There's so much wrong with the movie. There's so little right with the movie, but I just don't care.
There's so much like this
what?
comedy should not be at this point type of thing. Like MODOK's death. Like,
there was like 8 rapid fire machine gun jokes. I was like, cut it! You don't need all of these!
And it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then it's like, whatever, he's dead. We're moving on. Dude. I legitimately, Kang is the only praise I can give this movie.
Boy, man, he's a good actor. He's good in this role as this Kang.
Now,
you can pivot off to other Kangs, but whatever. This Kang, I'm like, I like this Kang a lot.
And
I am a man that likes to be understood. I'm like,
that was a fantastic line.
That's good stuff.
There was a moment where right after Janet figured out he's Kang the Conqueror, he's like, come on, we can go home. He puts his hand out and he goes, Janet, and then he makes a face like, you're making me angry, but I'm going to contain that anger. And then it's just like, let's go.
Good in this role.
Now, it was a little bit of oof with that moment, because I'm like, how much is he drawing from real life with that containing of anger and faith?
Wee-woo, allegedly.
All I can say is that Kang is all that I can give to this movie where I go, what do you like about Antman and the Wasp Quantumania? And I would go Kang.
Yeah, it's not the action. There's not particularly good scenes of action.
There's not even particularly good scenes of drama beats. And I'm sorry. Cassie is a terrible actress.
She's not great.
And I cannot believe it. There was a whole controversy with the original actress because of that. The whole thing.
She just found out that she was not on the movie as it was they're making the announcement.
And I would have preferred.
She's just like, oh wait, that's not me. I'm me. Wait a second.
And I can understand. It seemed like they wanted to go with a little bit of a younger look. But at the same time, I wish they would have gave her a chance, because this one is not it.
She's not great.
She says dad so much in this movie, and everyone just felt like an actress reading the line dad.
When she was in 58 quotations tortured by Kang, and she just goes, I'm like, well, even then, I was like, well, Kang's not really doing anything, so I guess. I like Bill Murray.
Yeah, he was cool, but he's there for a hot second or so. Yeah. I mean, if you were to ask me 5 things you enjoyed in the movie, I could probably at some point extrapolate 5 things.
Stretch.
Yes. things like Bill Murray, he's there for a scene, roughly 3-4 minutes of a scene. But I can go, I liked Bill Murray in the movie.
It's like name your top 7 pizza ingredients. You go, yeah, bacon, pepperoni,
sausage,
cheese,
ham,
I guess.
And then
Canadian
you're just
bacon.
Nah, that's ham. You don't get that.
That's fine. It's like I'll eat it, but it's just like this ain't what I want.
And then it just starts degrading more and more. But you can name them. But yeah, and that's how I would feel about this movie. It's just not a good movie.
It's just not a good movie.
And I am very curious to hear both his and other people's opinions on why they feel it was a good movie. Because I looked at literally one comment to make sure that it wasn't a joke, and it was like, thank you, Filmspeak. I thought I was going crazy because of how much I liked this movie, where everyone else just kind of overblew their opinion of it. And I went, that doesn't speak to the quality that you liked it. So if he's saying it's better, it doesn't conflate and help you in your thing of why you liked it.
Well, if I can see people going, if this is their brand of comedy, they can go, this is funny. What is this brand of comedy? I really like the joke of your buildings are alive, yours are dead. That was a very good joke.
Yes, quick, to the point, whatever.
A misunderstanding, you can understand where I like that joke a lot.
Two essentially fish out of waters interacting with each other's differences of their worlds. In, out, bang, bang, boom. Things like me and Thor have a similar physique, so it's a quick joke, but it's like, I feel nothing there. Because it's supposed to be a dramatic moment, and he's not going... Like, why would you do that then, right after Kang says, have I killed you? They all blur together. I'm gonna go, well, me and Thor kinda, it's just like, whatever. Yeah, so again, I don't know what this brand of comedy is, like, off kilter a little bit.
Cause maybe like everyman comedy.
But
like at the end where he just goes, have I ruined everything? Did I kill everybody? Whatever.
But I feel like that's off kilter, where you're supposed to like feel a type of way. The story is trying to make you feel a type of way, but the comedic moments are not allowing it.
The brand of comedy is a much larger comedy.
And I don't even know if it's called off kilter. It's just
it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
But I can see them just going, wow, the environments is such a weird
I can't even
and
say,
wacky.
Okay, you can go weird and wacky, but that's conceptualized stuff. Visually, it doesn't even look that great. It's just a bunch of goo.
Shapes and goo.
He's like smashing buildings. I'm like, the architecture of those buildings mean nothing to me. It's like Jetsons buildings. Why should I care?
The action, nope. It's...
that scene where all the Antman's just like, do it for Cassie. It's just over and over and over again.
It's one of the worst scenes. Because it's a probability. Any possibility can happen. It's like, do you understand what that means? Clearly you don't. Because it's just like, okay, take a step to the left. That's a possibility. Take a step to the left and shoot yourself. That's a possibility. Take a step to the left, shoot yourself, and sing in the club. That's a possibility. And all things in between. In the second that he drops there, he should have been suffocated by the weight of other Scots. Infinite. It should have been it's the likelihood of how much you're gonna do this, because you're not gonna betray Cassie, so that's not a likelihood at all.
You're gonna be evil Scott Lang.
Yeah, no, that's not a possibility at all. But you are arguing with another Scott. That's absolutely a possibility.
I would have liked it if it was kind of like the Rick and Morty thing with the uncertainty of the situation, and that's why he's splitting. He doesn't. do I do this? Do I do that? Okay, now I'm splitting.
Once he questions himself or something.
And then when he's like, they're all getting together, we start seeing Ant-Man disappear because he's starting to get, and that's why
focus on the,
and that's why it tumbles instead of just for some reason they all fall. Yeah. That's why it's tumbling, because some of the ones at the lower end of it start disappearing.
And then you just have to go, yes, I understand the Baskin Robin one was a joke, but you have to look at it as these are all the different possibilities. So how did that one get here? There's no answer for that. Because he wouldn't have that shrinky technology to get down the hole.
Yeah, he would have never even met these people.
Yes. So, because he's just like, well, y'all outfits are weird. This is normal. So I understand it's a joke, but jokes have to make sense.
Maybe it's just the probability of the Scots themselves as opposed to the Scot would be in this moment.
It should have been a whole lot of different ones instead of just a Baskin Robin one. Yes. It should have been an Afro one
or a Spider-Man one.
Or a Spider-Man one, or one with like arms and legs missing. Something.
Yeah, one that went through like a war or something.
One of them being the Wasp.
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of which, Jesus.
No, they could hurt. Wait, why is this Ant-Man and the Wasp at this point?
She had like 8 words.
You're not alone, mother. See you in 40 minutes.
Holy crap. Man.
Janet was essentially the Wasp. It should have just been Ant-Man and Janet or something. Or the original Wasp. And the name Quantumania. There was no mania to be had. This is very much like the multiverse of madness. Like, I would like to see more of the quantum realm instead of essentially 3 sections of it that all roughly look the same, except that one is a desert or something.
They function the same. They have commerce and they're talking and all. It's not like there's an upside down world or a bubble world or something like that. It's just like, these are just places.
Yeah.
Description boys. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has been getting a lot of stick lately. Is that maybe? I forget if he's British or American or something else.
Yeah, that could be another slang that we just don't know. Where's my phone?
Ant-Man 3 is called one of the worst MCU movies. Phase 5
agreed
of the MCU is off to a bad start. The MCU is dead, and while I get most of the negative,
I forgot about this.
It's fine. I do think that there's a fair amount of hyperbole when it comes to Ant-Man Quantumania. As arguably the biggest fan of Ant-Man, I guess I was predisposed to enjoy this one, and sure, maybe even had a bit of bias. That being said, I was fully expecting my reaction to the latest MCU movie to be Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is bad. Surprisingly, that wasn't the case. I had fun with the new Ant-Man movie. See, that's what it could be. Just it's fun, and you don't think about the fact that they're microscopic, and then he just goes hop in there and go microscopic. I'm like, but you're already microscopic. You're going lower. What?
I cannot see the fun to be had here. Like, at least with Transformers, I could see where you could derive fun from. I do not see the fun to be had here.
Well, we'll hear those arguments. And I think it deserves more love. I actually found it to be one of the best post-Avengers Endgame movies we've gotten so far. I see the cracks, I see the problems. My reaction certainly wasn't Ant-Man 3 is perfect, but I think it's enjoyable. Has a lot more heart than it gets credit for, and a great trilogy capper for the Ant-Man trilogy.
What doesn't have more heart than it gets credit for?
Yeah,
My Hero has more heart than it gets credit for.
Worthless statement, but it passed out the description. Griffin gives his Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review.
I'm looking for Hope Griffin. Where's episode 3?
Blessings. He's living his dreams. Shut up. Explain why Antman and the Wasp Quantumania is a good movie, why Antman 3 is good, why Antman and the Wasp Quantumania is underrated, along with exploring Antman and the Wasp Quantumania. Enjoy this Antman and the Wasp Quantumania video SK and ending explained video. Ending explained? What?
Hey,
what did we do?
Algorithm. He just got to keep doing it. He got to. It's all just a bunch of Antman ending explained, Antman analysis, so you can get that tags.
Fine.
I still don't tag our videos. So I looked up what shtick means in slang, and there's several. There's one I think is going to be the most, so I'm just going to use that. Shtick means picking on, bullying, or being mean.
That makes sense.
The other ones were about guns.
Oh, I thought they were about penises.
They're actually, yes, penis. That was fourth down. Let's get into it. Yeah, I need to downgrade. I need to remember. I must be ants. I will say this commercial for Ant-Man 1 was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have did something like this for Spider-Man, because there's a comic and nobody cares.
I know, guys. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That messy as all hell nightmare start to Phase 5. That's the post-Endgame MCU film I'm gonna jump on the love train for? Well, yeah. I love the first two Ant-Man films. Hell, you could probably say that I have an...
I don't remember them.
First one is good.
And
second one is fine.
Poof.
Vamu, son of a...
Ants bias for these movies. And if you've been a Filmspeak subscriber for, I don't know, any amount of time, you probably know this. I think it's the most optimistic, hopeful, and progressive series of films in the entire MCU.
Okay, is that all that you look for? Optimism and hopefulness? Is that enough to make a movie good?
It's different, so good.
Not even different, just this thing.
The most hopeful, the most optimistic.
I'm just looking for optimism. Oh, here's optimism. What's around it doesn't matter? Come on now.
Films which, under Peyton Reed, have not only been some of the more director-driven entries, but which have embraced the weird and quirky. I mean, a lot of the MCU is...
Okay, I was about to say, what MCU hasn't embraced the weird and quirky?
Inherently silly. A lot of comic books are inherently silly, and that's okay, that's fun. But Ant-Man in particular feels like the silliest concept for a superhero, one whose power is, I can shrink and resize myself basically at will in an instant.
Pause.
As I mentioned...
How is that silly?
I guess it would be silly when you're looking at somebody that like controls thunder. And then you're just, I get small and big. But
that's not silly.
Yeah, if you were to denigrate any power like that, you could just, I jump really far.
I'd say something like Reed Richards would be a silly power where he just stretches. You go, oh, you're going to stretch his fingers and like, oh, I need toilet paper. He stretches.
The possibility for it to be silly. Goofs can happen with that more than
outside of this. It's just, especially when you consider like the inertia and the hitting them with the momentum and stuff like that. That's not silly.
In my video on the first Ant-Man movie, there's something inherently playful and childlike about the idea of shrinking, bringing forth the idea of kids with their toys. It's light, breezy, action-packed, and most importantly, fun. But that doesn't mean...
Is that most importantly?
I mean, I enjoy a good fun movie, but I need a little bit more to my fun.
Doesn't have a heart. The Ant-Man films are ultimately a story about parents and children, Scott and Cassie, Hank and Hope, Hope and Janet, before they are ever a story about regular-sized man becoming Ant-Man or Giant Man. They're about second chances, about looking out for the little guy. In a world of...
Oh, he got roped into it! It's about...
If you were to look at basically anything, the themes of it, you can deride the same thing. I mean, Spider-Man is literally about looking out for the little guy. The first movie was literally, hey, don't worry about these Avenger level threats. Keep to the streets and look out for the little guy. Be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And Captain America was chosen because he was such a good guy.
Americas and Spider-Mans and Hulks, Scott Lang feels like the true people's hero, the most regular guy of them all. Which is why...
No, this is another one of those things of Batman where you don't have these fantastical powers, so you are just a regular guy. Anybody can put on that suit and be Antman.
But see, I don't know if he's thinking that or because of his personality and
How is his personality any more regular guy than Peter Parker?
Well, he didn't explain it, so either interpretation is completely valid.
I had a lot of skepticism about Quantumania. I know, I can't believe I'm saying that as the massive Ant-Man fan I am, but believe me, I had reservations. I actually thought this movie looked terrible. I was very concerned about the future of the Ant-Man movies, about getting my perfect trilogy of Ant-Man films.
What made you think that the movie looked...
It looked too much action-y and not enough heart family.
That could have been it, but again, he doesn't explain, so we don't know. We're left to interpret whatever.
Don't worry, we got 28 minutes to figure it out.
It wasn't gonna happen, was it? You couldn't do what I wanted you to do. I did not think that going immediately back to the quantum realm with this character after the events of Endgame, of making the most bombastic adventure with Kang the Conqueror as a seemingly unstoppable foe, hell-bent on conquering every realm, of taking the foundation of Ant-Man and making it as big as possible, was a good idea. And I hated the way that
you're right. He wanted that small family first type of story.
Yes.
And he's just like, well, if we're going to get Kang, Thanos number 2, it's going to be all about punching. Nope, you're right.
Talked about, well, you know, Ant-Man was the palate cleanser for post-Endgame, and for some reason Peyton Reed sounds like a Southern boy. Why the fuck did I just go into that voice? It doesn't matter. And now, well, you know, we want to bring Ant-Man into the forefront. We want to give him an Avengers-level film. Ant-Man doesn't need that, man. Like,
Who does, quote-unquote, need that?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange does not need that. Black Widow does not need that. But if you can do it and create a good movie out of it, who cares if what they quote unquote need or don't need? It's all about the quality of the film at the end of the day.
Yeah, what does it mean to need a villain? Especially a villain at a certain level of threats.
Yeah, I truly don't know.
never needed that. And so all that stuff coming at me just
and see, he just moves on. He never needed that. Why doesn't he need that?
Because the first two were interpersonal types of thing. It was a B guy.
So are we meant to do that for all of them then?
All three.
For the rest of eternity. Any Ant-Man has to be a lower level threat.
Yes, correct. What's the problem?
Jaded me on the idea of Quantumania as a whole. It seemed way off from the simplistic charm.
You were absolutely. This ain't what I want.
I mean, what else could it have possibly been? Honestly,
it could have just been the story looked stupid, or the trailer didn't grab him, or something, or anything. Not just. Nah, this is different.
All the trailers were kind of darker than you would expect from an Ant-Man and very punchy, angry stuff. And Kang is coming. Of course, just looking at it, you're going to go, that's not what I want if I want to look out for the little guy.
Man, he really said that. I wouldn't be surprised if he bought that book.
You don't think it's literally on his bookshelf right now?
as a family and redemption that those first two films gave me, which is why if we're going to go to the quantum realm, I wanted it to be a small-scale, intimate adventure in a wacky...
Why?
Because family is the important part of these movies, and that's the lens that he's looking at this from.
But you can still have that even with a grand scale battle. It doesn't matter. It matters how you write the characters and them interacting within the story, not just the size of the story itself.
Small scale, so the characters can have.
This is everything, everywhere, all at once. People again going. I just wanted the sad thing. I don't want the kung fu.
It makes no sense. I don't understand the mindset of, no, we need to have it as this. Going into it, I understand he changed it, but going into it, just like, this isn't the thing. I don't know. It's if you like these characters, if you like this world, if you have faith in this thing,
I don't remember
just
how...
the settings change.
I don't remember how I was pre-Man of Steel, but I remember how I was pre-Justice League. When that first teaser trailer came out, I praised the shit out of it. With the Lex line, with the looking at the false god thing. I was like, okay, we got something going here. We got something cooking here. I couldn't imagine just going, it's not what I wanted, based on what I previously seen, so the poopy.
Environment, akin to that of Land of the Lost or a Saturday morning cartoon, something that kept the core of the Ant-Man films intact.
The core can be intact even if you expand outwards from the core. Yeah. That means the core does not need to be affected, because the core could be broken with a smaller scale story, just like the core can be intact with a larger scale story. Please assess how you think about these things better when you're going into a film. But the problem is, he loved these films so much that he just wanted more and more and more and more of the same
because it's safe. I know this thing works with these characters doing this thing, so put them in that situation again, and I will more than likely like it. Going outside of that situation, there's a greater chance that I might not like it. So instead of
so do
you're 2-0 in terms of movies for him, and then it's just like, okay, 2-0 with this formula, and then he goes into a new formula, so it's untested. So he's just like, I don't know about this.
It wasn't no. He wasn't, I don't know about this. He was, I'm concerned about this.
Does he think that the characters, or what does he think would not hold up in terms of...
You wouldn't get enough time with the characters just being together and interacting and growing and falling apart and that type of thing if they're so preoccupied with some large looming threat.
We'd be playing a game of world-ending Avengers-level stakes, as Peyton Reed and Kevin Feige had been saying. Overt Phase 5 setup, that this wouldn't be its own movie, that it was only Chapter 1 of whatever the hell the next phase of the MCU is. And it would...
Can I, with that criticism? All these movies, for the most part, are roughly self-contained with literally, like 2 minutes of sprinkling stuff in to go, something in the future might happen with this.
Something bigger's over there. They've been doing that for quite a while. It's
like in Winter Soldier, when they were like, we keep an eye on all threats. Stephen Strange, blah blah blah. Before the Doctor Strange movie had come out, I think even before it was announced. And I wouldn't go, oh my God, it's so broken now, because now it's just chapter 1 of what this thing is. It's just that we're so hyper aware of the phases now that everything...
And the world and how things connect and where they should connect and where they might connect.
So everything we see is just like, okay, we're essentially looking out for the connections. But this is this is a roughly self-contained story, and if and when Kang comes back, comes back, he might throw a line out about it. They might throw out some lines about it. Oh, we've dealt with this guy before.
Especially considering, because this is the second appearance of Kang. You go back over to the Loki show, there's not really a connection there.
Technically third if you want to count What If.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that. But yeah, there wasn't really a mention or anything. You didn't really need to watch Loki in order to understand this Kang.
Even with the post-credit scene of Loki, it's just like, oh, well, the people that watch Loki are going to get hyped for the Loki show season 2. As opposed to, I needed to watch Loki. Now, Loki was all about setting up Antman and the Wasp Quantumania.
It would all be to the detriment of what made Ant-Man so special. Especially since these movies have largely been standalone, stories that have existed within the MCU, well, not really being the stories that carry forth the interconnectivity.
2 was about the quantum realm, and the quantum realm was all the reason that Infinity War and Endgame, they were able to save the people and bring them back because they were able to time travel thanks to the quantum realm, which was explored in the second movie.
I'm going to take your word on that.
I mean, at the end...
Am I crazy? I understand the end. I remember the end.
Yeah.
Did Falcon and Ant-Man fight in that movie?
Yes.
Okay. I have a vague recollection of that.
Because that's why he brought him... Oh, no. They fought in the first movie, I think. Because that's why he brought him for Civil War.
Well, there's no way to tell.
He grew big in Civil War, and he grew...
The technology just isn't there to tell at a moment's notice.
Setup or whatever, and they worked because of that. So, you can imagine my delight when that wasn't the case. It feels kind of silly on my part that I didn't have faith in what Peyton Reed was doing because the film loses none of what makes the first 2 entries work. I mean, I followed Reed this...
What were the things that worked?
Family. It's purely that. But what did we get here? I don't remember a conversation that was had with Wasp and the dad.
Well, to be fair, you fell asleep, so
I watched the second half this morning. Any like meaningful conversation other than where are you? Where are we? Something like that.
Or we couldn't tell you that we were doing this. We should have told you some stuff like that. It was mostly just about Cassie and Scott. But that's the thing. Every one of these have been essentially about a pairing. So this is about a pairing, and the other ones are just kind of on the periphery of that pairing.
But why is that enough? What about the stupid stuff?
Maybe he's going to talk about the stupid stuff.
The fact that he can overlook the mounds of stupid stuff to be like, yo, but family though. He already said that he loves it.
No. Okay. I'm not going to say he's overlooking the mounds of stupid stuff. I'm saying that the stupid stuff is not enough to outweigh his family. And the fun
I don't see how
had.
it couldn't be. Because if you look at it like the ooze
we have
stuff.
Dragon Ball fans all over the
I
world.
understand.
Okay.
The
ooze stuff.
The ooze stuff. They drink the ooze. The ooze guy is the person who you drink it, it is just translated.
And it may not even work since he had to ask if it worked.
So that guy's over there. Mm-hmm. But then there's a bar with also translation juice. So we have to either go, okay, same juice from that same dude or a different one. Or it's just a whole species. Mm-hmm. So we have to ask these questions unanswered. So if it's just a whole species, we have to ask what is this translation stuff? If it's just the one dude, we have to ask, okay, so is he supplying the bar with the ooze or what? And if he is supplying the bar with the ooze, if Kang's dudes just rock up, surely he'd be like, okay, this is a rebellion place. Shut it down. And if he's not, it has to be the species. Otherwise, there's no reason how they could get the ooze. So And that's just the question of just like, no, they just got translation ooze and they can just drink it and it's fine. It's like, translation ooze in and of itself is stupid.
It would have made more sense if they could all speak his language, and that's kind of like how it was regurgitated. Which could be what happened. Like, it's a forced, everybody speaks this language now. But I can't imagine Kang drinking the ooze.
But again, we have to be like, okay, this guy's ooze all the way over here, and then over here there's also ooze translates. So you just go. I don't see how you could ignore that. Just to be like, but
wasn't the ooze funny?
No,
and that's all I needed.
Not in particular. Wasn't fun either.
Yeah,
wasn't family either.
Drink the ooze, Dad. I laughed.
I did not.
I didn't laugh. What are you talking about?
Surely.
Surely what?
For consistency, for how humans behave. She would be like, the ooze translates them, and then you'll be able to speak. It wouldn't just be like, drink it. Would you? I mean, in that situation, one of us is getting held down and being forced to drink some strange liquid. Would you just be like, drink it? Don't worry about it. Drink it. I would like, hey, here's what this would do. Yes! Okay. And there's no reason why she wouldn't.
But it was fun.
No, it wasn't.
Haven't been disappointed with his efforts. He always looked at the Ant-Man films as being an outlet to channel a lot of his ideas for a Fantastic Four film into. And Quantumania...
Family. The theme of family in a Fantastic Four.
But even within Fantastic Four, they don't really do a theme of family. They do, story arcs about the family.
It's an overarching theme of family, and that's all
I wouldn't even call that, really.
Did you see Fan Four Stick?
Yes, recently.
I don't think you did.
Recently. Oh, dude. We hated it. They hated it. It's not very fun to make fun of. It's just so dreary. Nothing going on, dude.
Might be the most overt example. Seriously, just swap out Quantum Realm for Negative Zone and the Ant Fam for the Fantastic Fam, and boom, you got a cosmic Fantastic Four movie.
Just switch out people and places, and it's the same thing, baby.
It would have to be rewritten. I mean, essentially from the ground up.
I don't understand how he could be like, you go to a completely different location with completely different characters, and it's the same.
I mean, sure, you could do a rough outline. Like I've always said, Man of Steel could work as an Aquaman movie, but to just go, I would just go, hey, just make Superman, Aquaman, and there you go, baby.
It's the same thing.
No, you would need to rewrite quite a bit of that film.
He's got to be looking at it as just a broad overview of just people go to weird place.
But you can look
family.
Okay, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, but that's a different place and different people.
Like this.
I don't know. This is not like this.
Blame the terrible marketing for why my expectations were at ground level, leaning more into Kang and Phase 5 setup with Ant-Man as an afterthought.
They have to get butts in those seats, and it worked because the opening was tremendous. It's just that the film sucked so hard that nobody went back.
And you're leaning on a villain, which a lot of movies do. This is not only that, it's a big movie. It is not necessarily the beginning of Phase 5. Like, it's going to be an overarching thing because what's the next one coming up? Not all of them are going to have some kind of Kang tie-in. And if they do, it's going to be a minor one. And
what's the next one? Because the only thing that's sticking in my head, even superhero-wise this year, is Spider-Verse.
Yeah, really.
I know Aquaman comes out at the, very end of the year. Oh, Flash comes out. That's right. And Blue Beetle this year, I think.
That movie is going to be chopped to pieces.
You're gonna see a man in a wig. Just the back of their head.
Man, it's gonna be in chunks. Guardians, which I can't imagine has.
I can't imagine the Kang tie-in.
The Marvels.
Oh yeah, the Marvels. Again, I like at least 2 characters in that, even though I don't like the Captain America in the Marvel, the MCU.
Captain America: New World Order.
Oh, that
hey.
I can't imagine Kang. Maybe as a post-credit.
That comes out next year.
Ugh.
Thunderbolts and Blade.
I can see Blade having some type of Kang thing.
But yeah, I see nothing wrong with just going, hey, yo, this is the new villain. Get hype.
Yeah, especially since people complained how little Thanos did until he showed up in the Infinity War. So you give them a taste of the new Kang or the new villain in a TV show and a movie, and we keep it moving. If this is the same guy after everything is said and done.
I hope so, because he did a good job.
So we're just cool with the
alleged. Whatever you're about to say, just alleged. You know, I don't know if Bub's gonna be trolling the internet for Antman review, huh? Let me just check on here. Oh, word? Oh, how about this lawsuit?
You're just begging to be canceled. Canceled and sued. Yeah, they're just gonna go to Olympics his lawyer. I heard the thing. Let's gather them all up, people.
Instead of selling us on a fun, wacky Ant-Man adventure. Just as Iron Man 3 reaffirmed what made Tony Stark Iron Man.
Okay, pause. You gotta realize that them other Ant-Man movies made $16. So maybe they're like, hey,
let's pump it out a little bit.
Let's do something a little different to get some butts in seat. People ain't rocking in family fun bush, so we go with the big villain.
America Civil War.
Ant-Man 1 made $5,519,000.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man and the Wasp
3
made 6.
That's coming off the back of
that made more than I expected.
Same. What did this make?
4. But we always got to look at it through the COVID lens. Plus,
at this point, the cough, you can't use that as an excuse.
Well,
the word of the mouth. I would more blame it on people just waiting for these things to come to digital. They know the comfort of theirs. That's why I think Avatar 2 exploded so much, because that's an experience you just cannot get in your home. And I think that's why so many of these, in quote-unquote, artiste directors want these type of super theatrical types of films. The experiences. So you're not going to replicate that with a TV hanging on a wall just while you're on your phone. You got to feel it. The Dolby Digital.
No, I just want to watch it on my phone while my wife plays.
Did you hear the clip? Did you hear the clip?
He is worthless.
And now,
my opinions are valid.
And now he's crying about the reviews.
Yeah, because they're not making them. I can't go to the movies. I won't make any money from it. It's like,
I cannot believe this man does not have the capability to spend $21 to watch a movie. If he's going to make even $6 back on it, you should look at it as a discount.
He's looking at it as purely as returns. I'm not going to get returns for this.
And
so
profit.
Why do I do it? Hey,
it can't be a flat return. He can't spend $60 on a game and get $60 back. That doesn't work for business. Do you not understand business?
Needs to be more.
He needs 100% return, 200% return.
How about just going to a movies with your wife? It ain't gotta
How
be
about that be your
pockets.
day out?
Nah.
How about you just double up? You get to spend time with your wife, and you get content for your channel.
They got a lot of stuff to do. They got to go around and all over the boom, boom. Super stressful double day off. Oh, people are looking at it like, Phil, you got 2 days off. No, I didn't. I was stressed about a nebulous problem
that I will not explain.
But pity me and give me money.
On Twitter, all dot.
I hate the vagueness of this bull
the
crap.
second stream has to be canceled as well. I apologize.
And here's my mindset. Hey, we're talking about Phil. Skip it. Shut up. Here's my
I'll timestamp it for y'all.
That. It can't be that bad if he went into it with the mindset of, yeah, I can go to my second stream, so that's fine. If a doctor rocked up and was just like, Phil, you got to come in, he wouldn't be like, oh, I'm making it to my second stream. He'd be like, oh, maybe I should shut this off.
Or he's getting some work done on his teeth or something, and he expected to be able to talk by then. It's just like, nope, couldn't do it. Something, anything.
There's 3 prevailing theories. I think there's 4. There's medical, there's cat, and there is taxes. Mm-hmm. And those are the big 4 things of just, because he said during the night stream, and that says a lot, that during the night stream I got some bad news. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I can see that with doctors.
I can see that with taxes.
I can see that with something like Jasper started licking an ant poison and is foaming at the mouth.
Medical could be something with Jasper.
And Taxman could just be like, you f***ed this up.
Try again.
Hey, check this out.
Oh,
I'm not your Taxman anymore. Cause we both going to jail.
If I submit this, I'll lose my license, dude. This is fraud.
So those are the 4 main ones, and it's just like,
I agree that it can't be too big, because if it was big, he would be saying it for pity.
Yeah.
He would be, oh, guys, they swatted me again or something like that. They got the info on my family and blah, blah,
And again,
blah.
if I went in for a test for the doctors and I was just like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the test back. And then they called up and just like, hey, we're going to have to talk about this. Come into the office tomorrow. I wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, we can record and visit it after. I'd be like, let's see how I feel. Let's see what news I got.
We're going to postpone until further notice.
Yeah, rain check on this.
Stream canceled, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, nah, everything business as usual. I'm like, if I gotta go in that mug, and you ain't saying this over the phone.
Legitimately, if you can't tell me over the phone, we got the results back. You're gonna want to come in.
Yeah, we got a lot to explain. All right.
I would prefer not to do it over the phone.
So that's. So who knows? I would just prefer the not vagaries, because he's just going, oh, they could ruin my what could be ruined. Shut up. If you
have my back is worsened. Let's just say it's that. How did we ruin that?
How did we ruin that? So I'm thinking it's got to be cat. Or it's got to be taxes. Based upon the whole, they could ruin it for me.
Or even Jasper, something with Jasper, because if that's the case,
he could be like, they could be like, you're a negligent owner,
and they could also go, okay, where do we think he went to get veterinary care? Mm. And then maybe they can extrapolate another bill out of him for another fleece job of a thing.
Or they could call like animal services and just show him the clip of them just going, yeah, ant poison's just around, but cats don't like it. So I just leave it around. It's like,
yeah, if Jasper got in the ant poison, that would make a ton of sense. But then again, he would have to go, I'm a negligent owner, and we can't be having that.
So we won't see, because he's just gonna clam up until the moment that he needs to break out them pockets.
Yeah, you mean they need to break out the pocket
for him? Somebody pockets needs to open up with the quickness.
And it never feels.
No.
Dude, just go to the movies and it can improve your business. Just get a green screen to improve your business. I'm sorry. We're going to play after this. I was watching one of the This How You Don't Play, or even a death montage of him playing Resident Evil 4 remake. And somebody was like, you should make a short of all the times you stepped in the bear trap. And he went, I don't do that. I mean, if someone wants to do it, that would be awesome. That'd be great. That'd be wonderful. I'm not going to do it, though. And it's like, Phil, you have to understand. This is your business. You are not... There are no employees. There are only volunteers. So if people want to give you things out the kindness of their heart, like when Det draws things for us, that's just him wanting to do that. We don't ask for it. We don't ask for these things. You're just trying to lay it out there. Hey, why don't you just draw a little something, Det?
But he thinks about it in a different way, because I was just watching the Rambo and Howard.
We can't stop watching DSP, y'all. No, I'm just talking about the watching of DSP.
No, it's constantly. It's a problem.
It's legitimate. We're addicted. It's an addiction. 100%.
I'm completely fine with saying that.
I can't think of a day I've gone where I have not heard Phil's voice.
Legit.
And that's a scary prospect. I mean, I will go out of town and listen to something Phil at some point.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But I was listening to that, and he goes, the clip where I said this isn't in that. I should have put it in there. And I'm like, you didn't make that video, Phil. Somebody else did.
That's bull.
Why would you say that you should have put it in there? But that's how he thinks.
Yes. Any work that is on his channel is basically something he did. Even if it's just him implementing it. I implemented it, so it's clearly...
That video is disgusting. I hate it.
It's legitimately the worst thing he's ever done. We said beforehand when we did that stream with the Down the Rabbit Hole, I think that's the worst Phil content he has ever done. Content-wise, I think that's the worst thing he's ever done.
Meaningless.
Person-wise, from what we've seen, that Howard and Rambo thing is the gaslighting, the excuses, the
what
call
are you
to
doing,
action.
Howard? This is about me and John. You didn't make the video. How do you dictate what a video that two people made about this is about? You piece. Oh!
Literally the worst thing I've ever seen for Phil. It was one of those things, because we were just watching it on our own, where we were just actively disgusted by the things he was saying and doing.
Horrible.
And then the waterworks, and then dried up, back on, all dried up.
Yep. YouTube more.
I got the voice and I never told you guys that what I even.
All right, thank you for the tip.
And by the way, guys, it just happened. But I was not a tear dropped, Phil. My life's been tough. It has.
With Steve Rogers, Antman and the Wasp Quantumania reaffirms who our heroes are and their love for one another.
Don't all movies reaffirm a sequel?
Oh my
The
goodness.
John Wick sequels reaffirm who John Wick is.
Is it praiseworthy
No.
to just be like character consistency?
Same exploration of character.
But even still, like something like breaking from that character consistency could also be seen as a good thing, because you go from Thor to in Thor 2 whatever
Art
it was.
thou?
I forget what it was called. Dark World.
Yeah. Thor the Dark World.
To Ragnarok. And he gets a lot more jokey and a lot more loose. So it's not even, but he still holds the same values.
Yes.
Though. But it's
Still wanting the best for Loki.
again, consistency. It quality. Don't just be like, yeah, it did the thing. It's like, no, was it good?
Do you think that Thor the Dark World would be more noteworthy than Quantumania? That means it's got to be worse enough for it to be of note, or better enough for it to be of note.
That's the one where he put the Mjolnir on the coat rack. I like that a lot.
Okay. I like the why are there so many shoes? That's one I
Yes.
always laugh at.
I like Mjolnir traveling all over the world to get back to him.
That was cool.
I don't think that I'm going to remember as much. I watched this.
Hey. You remember why you watched this movie? Because you couldn't remember a thing Rebellion lady said.
No.
What is her name?
What's her name? What's her name?
You could have threw out anything because honestly,
as long as it was confident enough.
Yeah, you could have just been like, yeah, I made sure to figure it out. It's blind. I was like, you got it. Because if you were to ask me if they said her name in this movie, I couldn't tell you.
They did. Because I remember the daughter, whose name I don't remember, Joy? Cassie, when she popped into the cell, she was like,
I'm here to rescue you.
person.
Oh, did she say person? I don't remember the person part.
I remember, I made note of it.
That's a blank in my mind there, because I remember going, I'm here to rescue you. I remember that part.
Well, I was a bit more fresh at that
That
point.
is fair. That is very fair. Because your boy watched it midday, and even then I was like, oh.
But yeah, this is, this movie is,
It ain't it.
it's really not it.
I'm shocked to say, but it really landed for me.
But
And I
yeah,
feel-
going back to the memory thing, I was just like, I was watching it because I've forgotten large stretches of it.
Of course,
and as
how
I was
could you
watching
not?
it, I was like, how did she realize that Kang was evil? And then she touched the ship and got the memories. I was like, oh, that's stupid.
It mind melds with him, so anybody that touches it also experiences his mind
It's like,
and memories.
okay, so they banished him with a suit that has superpowers that he could use to travel back with his ship who can mind meld. He knows that it mind melds with them, so he allowed her to touch the ship. And I'm like, wow, this is stinky.
Are they going to bring it up?
No, you can't.
You can. If there's a section or this is one of the issues I had with the movie, even though I love it, even though I think it's great.
I hope so.
feel very comfortable saying that Ant-Man is the most consistent in overall best trilogy in the MCU. I know.
He has to bring up Cap.
Spider-Man, Cap. Yeah, I don't think that the Cap movies, I don't think that they're too far apart from each other. Right, there was two of them, weren't there?
There were 3 Cap movies. There was
Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
Civil War, I forgot about that. I just kind of went, oh, that's Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's, it's a 8, 8, 5, 9. I don't think that they're too far apart from each other.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, first movie is good.
Yeah.
I don't remember the second movie, and I like the third movie.
Far From Home is not the one.
It may be the one.
It is not the one. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I do that Mysterio fight with Spidey where he's the grave of Tony and all that. Fantastic work. Fantastic mind melding bush. You up, freak you out stuff. Beyond that, it is a movie.
Yeah, Iron Man, that's a pretty big gap between.
I think 2 gets way too much hate, but it's still not a very good movie. Yeah. They people count it as like a 2 out of 10 movie. I don't think it's that bad.
Definitely not.
But I think it's just not a very good movie. That's one of those ones where it's just like, this is a clear setup to something bigger. Unlike, the first Thor where you see Hawkeye. I'm not like, oh my god, it's a setup for Hawkeye. It's just, oh, Hawkeye's here.
Yeah. And in terms of Ant-Man's consistency, I guess it is just like consistently, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but legitimately. Where you said that Cap ranges from 8 to 9, Ant-Man ranges from 6 to 7.5.
I know, y'all are ready to just, throw down, punch me in the face, light me on fire, all that stuff. But, I mean, come on, you already know how I feel about MCU Spidey. And for those of you who don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of Captain America Civil War. That'll probably have to be addressed in a later video. Look, I'm not saying...
What is he doing?
Yeah, I wonder what the arguments are. Well, I would need to see it again.
It's not a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
I am with Filmspeak here. I figured out what his Antman bullshit was about, and I've already figured out his Cap movie before seeing it.
I don't know it.
saying that Quantumania is perfect, or even that it's like the greatest thing.
Can we stop with this shield of...
It's not perfect, y'all.
I understand, y'all. It's not perfect. It's not the worst thing ever, but...
I hate it.
Only one thing can be the best thing ever, the greatest thing ever. Only a handful of things in this world can be perfect. No one's asking for Antman and the Wasp Quantumania to be perfection.
No one expected it. Nobody's going, wow, 5 minutes into this film, Freaks thinks that this movie is perfect. He doesn't. Okay.
They would have been perfectly fine with an 8 out of 10 movie. Maybe even a 7 out of 10 movie. This is a 5.5 on a good day movie.
The best day, and it is held up Atlas style by Kang. He is rippling muscles holding this movie up. But then it just falls apart near the end where he's just lasering and they're just full swiping people out. And he's not doing that to any of them.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to punch you to death, Scott Lang.
And every time he does do the lasers, they miss. And I'm like, okay, Ant-Man, he turns real big and slams him up against the wall. I'm like, okay, laser dead. Disintegrated.
Yeah,
Dust.
hand
Goo.
gone.
Goo. We're done here.
What is the difference between his lasers and like his pulse thing? Because Cassie gets pulsed and she just kind of gets knocked back. And then didn't Janet get lasered? Why is she not? Maybe he could control the veracity of the laser.
Why would he?
Because the device might explode or something or get f***ed up. And without Janet, he can't get that back.
You gotta look at it as, they just go, this muff is centuries ahead of us.
Yes.
What does he do? Telekinesis, which, my goodness, do more of that. Why are you punching if you with a single finger flick, you're in swinging Modok all across the room.
Barely moving his arm.
He did not do that during the fight with the 3 ant people.
Nope.
I'm just like, telekinesis, they're stuck.
The 2 ant people fly up to him, Ant-Man and Wasp. They fly up to him, he goes, swoop. And that's the last we see of him fighting with the telekinesis.
So we got the telekinesis, we got the pause, we got the shield, which could be an extension of the pause, and we got the lasers. And he also did the magnet of walking down the steps thing.
Which is probably an extension of the shield / pulse.
So where's the centuries ahead?
Maybe in a ship. A mind-melding ship. That's
sure. But is that enough?
Are we gonna get there within the next century?
What does that grant you?
Are we gonna get there in the next century?
It's just like, this dude can rule the cosmos and timelines and all of time and stuff like that. But they allowed him to have this time warping ship. Why?
Maybe
they banished him. He did not escape.
No. I don't mean escape. Maybe he built that ship outside of what they were doing. Maybe that's part of the centuries ahead thing.
Do you mean that he built the ship, they saw that he was destroying timelines, and then they banished him? Or they banished him, and while he was banished, he built the ship?
I would say the second one, maybe. It's the quantum realm. There's a lot of bullshit down there.
Nope, because he fell down. He's like, where am I?
That's fair.
And then they started building the ship, or fixing the ship.
Yeah. It'd have to be like a Zod thing where that thing is meant to be the containment of them, but it can also somehow power up.
That's the dumbest. Why not just kill him?
Can they?
They were mad that he was killed. They were like, "Oh, now it's time to get serious. This homeboy dead."
No, okay, I mean, do they have the ability to?
If this Kang can wipe away timelines, surely the other ones can.
I mean, they called him the Eradicator, so I don't know if they have the capabilities to do so.
Why would just that one? If they can wage wars and mess with all sorts of timelines, why is that one simply the one that's just like, oh no, but I can destroy the timelines. We can go back in time. We can fudge with everything we want, but we can't destroy them.
It's a variant. It's just the way the dice were rolled when it comes to variants.
I don't believe that the infinite possibilities, there's only one of them that can do that.
There may only be one that they know of.
I don't believe that there's only one that they know of when there's an entire arena of them.
I mean, but if we're talking about an infinite possibility of timelines and space travel, I very much doubt the people they know probably total in the 700K variants. I doubt they have all.
But I'm sure if I go down 700K lines of DA, one of them's gotta be an astronaut.
Okay.
Two of them.
Okay.
Two of them are astronauts. I'll give 2 of them.
I wouldn't give 2.
Well,
I'll take the 1.
Well, one of them went through training and just didn't make it, but the other one did.
Okay, so maybe one of them is strong enough to, like, destroy worlds, but can't quite do the timeline.
Put him on a world and destroy that world.
Okay, but there's how many worlds? I mean, even in our just galaxy, our solar system. I'm not even going to go galaxy. In our solar system, there's 8-9 planets. Our galaxy, who knows how many planets there are.
Instead of banishing him in a place that you don't know, in a place that he could return to with a ship that he could return with.
Technically, they thought that it was inescapable.
But you gave him the means to possibly escape. They are functionally immortal. So given enough time, he could cobble together 2 ants and make a ship.
To be fair, ants did not exist down there before they sent them down. So who knows what the tech is.
How about this? Maybe put him in some sort of a room where you could monitor him. Maybe put some bars in that room and provide him with sustenance enough that you can gain his knowledge.
Do you think a jail cell could hold an eradicator of timelines?
He's punching Antman without his suit. The f is he doing? He's having a punch up.
He got pushed back by Wasp blasters.
He's just a pretty strong guy without his suit.
Apparently. Okay, but maybe he did build the ship because maybe he also built that suit because I don't see any Kangs with that type of suit technology.
There was a Kang at the very end that had a blue face, and I think
I don't know if that's the same type of thing or it's just like a breathing apparatus.
Sure, but we don't,
or even just a face guard.
Here's the thing: you could say that it. Yes, I don't see that it couldn't be, but I can say that it could be.
I understand that if you're pulling things out of your both ways work. I understand. I'm just laying off some possibilities here. This should have just been a because reason.
Probably.
I've ever seen.
But it's always just avenues to speak about a piece of media.
We should do because reasons with the phases.
Alright, that would be fun.
Isn't the cleanest film in the world, but I'm sad to see this film not land as well for so many other people. Again, not liking it, but
It definitely sucks when something you really like or even think is good does not connect with people because something like Upgrade I think is amazing, but who's watching Upgrade?
Scat
Dance with him. Ready or Not, the movie Ready or Not. I love Ready or Not. I think that's a fun movie. But who's talking about Ready or Not? Like, and it can suck if that's something you care about. I don't care about it.
I don't
like it, don't like it, watch it, don't watch it. I don't give. I'm going to expand. I'm gonna expel the knowledge of it. I'm going to go. Hey, you bum should watch Ready or Not. Hey, you bum should watch Upgrade because it's really good. I'm going to do that. But if they go no, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm gonna joke around with them like, you pieces of this is why your taste remain trash. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, it sucks people aren't watching Ready or Not. It sucks.
My investment in media does not depend on other people's
legitimately.
But
that's the type of people that want to be in the community of these types of things.
They want to be in the discussion, and he goes to a Reddit like, it wasn't Antman and the Wasp really good?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. In the suit? What?
He wants a bunch of people to just go, yeah, it was awesome. And he can also, so they can all build hype together to get this giant glob of hype. Dragon Ball.
But I can understand that because it's kind of like the whole thing of me and you. We don't watch like videos of stuff that we like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch a One Piece positive video because that does nothing.
Legitimately.
But maybe somebody like him would.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I will watch a One Piece video if I don't know what the discussion is about. Like, I watch a review from Redline Media, even if I think the film is good, just to hear their thoughts. They might hate it, they might like it. I personally don't know.
But that big One Piece video, just like One Piece is the Odyssey
the
of media or whatever like that. I keep getting recommended that. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to hear, yeah, Arlong Park was good. I know. I know why it was good.
And you know the comment section is just going to be a bunch of, this is a great video, or this was my favorite stuff in One Piece.
Yeah. So something like that, it just does nothing for me. Blessings upon them for doing the 6-hour One Piece. I love this video, but it just does nothing for me.
For us, it feels like we feed off hatred and negativity when it comes to videos. And when it, and we will snack on a good one. I'll snack on something that goes, this is a really good thing, y'all. Like, H Bomber Guy, explaining why Pathologic is good.
That's not fair. He's good.
Yeah.
In Roblox Oof video, I don't care, but I'm there for him.
Dude, I watched that video like 6 times.
Man.
It's 2 hours.
And I'd watch him read a book about how to walk a dog. I don't care. He's funny.
And that's all I need with my entertainment. But, you know, again, I'll watch something I find, and maybe, you know, they find these creators entertaining or the topic itself entertaining, so they will engage with it. I just don't find that stuff entertaining.
Damn, some of you guys are a bit too ruthless and hyperbolic. The worst MCU film? Come on. So
pause. You'll find somebody who's saying every film is the worst film in the MCU.
You'll find somebody that's saying Quantumania is the best film. It's out there somewhere.
Meaningless.
It
made $400 million. So let's just say that's 1 million people that watched it. That 40 in that doesn't the
$40 ticket. That math ain't mathing.
No, it most certainly ain't mathing. If we're but let's say millions of people watch it through legal or otherwise means. Of course, you're gonna get all sorts of ranges between 1 and 100. Doesn't matter.
Now that Antman and the Wasp Quantumania is here.
And I find it odd that he's focusing on the ones that are going, this is the worst MCU movie, and not the ones going, this is the best MCU movie. Surely that's more hyperbolic because you're saying that that there are problems with this movie. What about the people going, this movie is perfect? Why don't you single those people out for being hyperbolic?
If there's a consensus on a thing, how hyperbolic is it to go, it is bad? It is the worst. Because if so many people gave it a 4, let's just call it a 4. If so many people gave it a 4 and somebody else gave it a 2 or a 1, is that hyperbolic if it's widely agreed upon that it's not a good thing?
If it's within the general area.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be more hyperbolic if there were 94s and 10 10s? Wouldn't the 10s seem more like hyperbolic?
just trying to be contrarians and...
Now that we've gone this far into the layers of the quantum realm, stick with me for a bit, drink the ooze, and hopefully you'll be able to understand why I have such an affinity for this movie. But be careful, you don't want to spill any of that ooze on your shoes, unless the shoes are the incredibly waterproof Vessi's, the sponsor.
Are we listening to the sponsorship?
Vessi's?
We're not doing this for April Fools, y'all. We are not hacks. We do not do jokes over again.
$60.
I mean, do they look comfortable?
Enough.
What's a rating? What's a rating we're looking at here?
They got 500 stars, 5 stars, 505 stars on their website. That is. But again, if you're going there for these shoes,
yeah, of course.
Or,
I'm not gonna go to Stephen King's website and go, "This was a 1-star book."
I'd like an audience with Mr. King himself. I have some words for him. See, they're not on Amazon. No, they're not on Amazon. No, one-stop shop. You gotta get them on the website.
I'm gonna look on thoughts on Vessi sneakers from Reddit. Longevity, quality. I have a pair of flip ones. I didn't pay full price as part of the original back group, so I bought them. Oh, they were a Kickstarter. Ooh, that is not a glowing thing. Functionally, they meet their promises.
Yeah, they're waterproof. But is water such a big selling point with shoes? How often are you just backflipping into puddles? I don't care. It was raining hard the other day, and my socks didn't get wet.
Yeah, I'll hop. Some puddles, I'll just go, that looks shallow enough, whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I'm not gonna hop that.
I don't understand. Where would waterproof shoes be a selling point? I was like at the beach, but surely sandals.
Maybe if you need that jog and it's raining. Like, people are just like, I'm gonna jog every day. This is the day I jog. I don't care if it's raining. I'm still gonna jog.
Would you get those? Would you get a $115 pair of shoes?
Lastly, they are a little weird to walk in. Maybe it's because I got the slip-ons, but it feels like you're walking in slippers. The shoes are comfortable, but you feel low to the ground. It's hard to describe, but it's like wearing a shoe with no insole. Oh, no.
No, they do look very like...
So you feel the ground more despite this shoe feeling comfy. It's an odd sensation every time I put them on.
They do look kind of like baby shoes, kind of. Maybe because it's just that they don't have... They have to be the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Because they don't have shoelaces.
It's worth it if you get it during their $99 sales, and if you're going to use the waterproof feature. Just wanted to offer up my own experience. I am on my third pair, and this pair just started leaking. The first pair were fantastic.
What's your shoes oozing for?
My first pair were fantastic, lasted 11 months, and then leaked. I don't wear them that much.
So that person is doing something
maybe illegal.
They
must be swimming with their shoes on or something, just like for
what
the resistance.
What are you doing? Where leakage of your shoes is a concern.
Okay, snow. Because then I will wear boots.
Yes.
Okay, here's just a quick succinct one, and then we'll get going. Pros, definitely waterproof. Comfortable to stand in and gym with. Cons, soles are kind of cheap. The one on the right is already loose after a month. Terrible for walking long distances or fast. Can't power walk, jog, or run in them.
Oh my goodness.
So who are these
What are
for?
these shoes for?
It must be like Seattle. Just like where it's raining constantly. I'd rather just put these on to get to my car than have to put some plastic bags over my feet.
Sure, but is that 5 minutes from the grocery store to your car, are you going to be swimming in your normal in Nikes?
It depends on how the rain and how much in the puddles, because it rains quite a bit in Seattle. I wouldn't be surprised if it's raining right now. That price is outrageous for them, though. Just for some waterproof shoes.
And it looks like some slippers.
Of today's video. On top of being insanely stylish and comfortable, Vessi provides the perfect shoe to protect my feet whenever I go out and about. And with the new Vessi Stormburst, I haven't felt more comfortable or felt more
those look like in shoe socks.
Doing so, the Stormburst has all the amazing qualities you'd expect.
Who is doing this? Why are you on the beach in regular shoes?
You have to be like, it's time for me to walk on the edge of the ocean. So let me get my Vessis on.
It's the only reason.
They're specialty shoes for just like
a subsect of people.
It's time for me to do something water related. That's so water related that I have them be waterproof. And it's so frequent that I need a shoe for it. It's not a
where I wear daily. Like if you're on the edge of the beach in Miami or Maine or something, just like, I'll buy some Vessis because the slippers, the sand on my feet, I'm not feeling it. Whatever.
I don't see. Are you really that in business? But again, if you're charging $115 for some shoes that you cost $20 to manufacture, you're rocking it, I guess.
Winter boots, all in a stylish sneaker design.
Where are the winter boots? Because those were not winter boots.
Why are you just sticking your foot? This is this is parlor trick stuff where you can just go dunk, 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 and you see it's perfectly dry. And your
Billy Mays here with the Vessi.
And you're the only thing you can say is, "Oh yeah, look at that." That's my whole reaction is just like, "Oh yeah, they are dry."
100% waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof, and keep you nice and warm. Using Dymatex, the Stormburst is a super soft material that keeps your feet warm in the cold, but also has the amazing ability to keep you cool in the warm
I don't necessarily trust that. I do not trust that it's warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
Yeah,
I don't trust that. Filmspeak. Now, I don't believe it.
I will say it might get warm in the winter. Because if it's so insulated or so contained that even snow can't get in, that type of water, maybe it does keep your feet warm. And if that's the case, maybe it's good for that type of thing.
Sure. But I don't think
it's
making it cool.
I don't trust that at all.
Now I know it's not shrinking or enlarging a Pez dispenser, but that's a pretty great superpower if you ask me. I wear the Stormbursts all the time while walking around outside or going on hikes, and they're easy to slip right on so I can get on the go as fast as I want. So what are you waiting for? Check out the Vessi Stormburst and other styles at vessi.com/Filmspeak. Get your Vessi sneaker in the size that best fits you and use code Filmspeak for 15% off your entire order. That's code Filmspeak.
I don't necessarily like Vessi. I would not look for a waterproof shoe.
But you're not in an area where you would need a waterproof shoe.
You're looking at Seattle and you may be a part of England.
And that's business.
And some cuck trying to dip their shoe in a creek for some reason.
Hey, you know what? Maybe those types of people, the hand fisher people. But they got those giant boots. But maybe, a bunch of kids playing on the edge of a creek. I can see that fishing on the edge of a creek.
Sure. Kids, I can see that. And you did say he was hiking, so maybe there's like puddles there.
Yeah, I can see hiking with the mud and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, what are you doing? Ankle deep mud?
I mean, hiking is hiking.
For 15% off your entire order, and thank you so much to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Time. It's at the center of it all. The fleetingness of time, juxtaposed by how still it can make life feel in the face of a large absence, has always been a big theme in the Ant-Man movies. Scott was in prison before the first film and lost some of the earliest, most formative years of Cassie's life. Because of the snap, right when he had mostly figured things out, Scott then lost even more years with her entire adolescence, years which were just as important. He struggles to relate to her properly because almost all of the time he's really known her has consisted of her as a little girl, when the reality Scott lives in is that his daughter is a young woman with ideas of her own about how to conduct her life, about justice, about what being a hero means. She's very idealistic, and her ideas of all of these things bear little influence from and can at times contrast with her father's ideas.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Scott still holds these ideas, but he wanted to protect his family more than help a bunch of people that he don't know about.
Yeah. He's not trying to help every single person. He already helped every single person. He gets berated for it. But wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
What's there to be said about him going, oh, watch out for the little guy, but then berating her for going, oh, the homeless, and because she was helping the little people essentially, because the homeless and the protesters and stuff.
I think he was berating the jail and not so much the...
Well, but surely
I think it's more of a, I don't want you to go down the path I did, as opposed to you up helping a little guy. It's not so much a like Pa Kent message where, no, maybe you should let those kids die to protect yourself. It's just don't make the mistakes I did, essentially.
I would have liked that to be a little more clear.
Yeah, definitely. Because this is just an interpretation.
He's also always feeling a bit guilty for not being around for Cassie. Scott finding a way to even out the work-life balance has been an integral element of his story throughout this trilogy, finding the time to be the dad he needs to be for Cassie, even when he doesn't have the time. And now maybe Scott is...
Can you stop saying time?
No, this is the time section.
I understand there's a section dedicated to time that is called Flippy Boopy or something. But can you stop saying the word time? Because this is very much like the Naruto Sasuke thing, where it's just, hey, they are friends. Believe when I say they are friends. Because you say it so much, you try to do it so much, that you don't give the audience the time to really dissect if that's the case or not. You're just inundated with the information that it already is.
And there's also the case of, how does the time factor play into this movie?
I can give you your time back, Scott.
But he said no.
Well, you're going to do it anyway. Or I'm going to do a flicky flick on your daughter.
Pardon? You heard me.
You know how I do, Scott.
I don't. You will.
Legit what I was about to say. It's so funny you were talking to Trina like he wanted to do a because reasons on Ruby or a Ruby cast on it. It's just like, without BG, it's just not gonna quite be the same, or revisit or whatever it was. And that's really what it is. People, if you've been around someone for so long, you can get their sense of humor.
Yeah. And it's just like, no, we can, like, no. This wouldn't work if we weren't together for all of our life.
Legitimately.
Overcorrecting in that direction. In writing a book that chronicles the Avengers' battle with Thanos and telling his personal story, Scott's been looking at his work as a hero in the rearview mirror, which Cassie's become a bit critical of. She's reminding him that there are still a lot of injustices in the world and interrogates her father as to why he's still sitting on the sidelines. She's out there...
But you gotta look at it as, what is there for him to do?
What is there for Antman
to do?
Sure, Scott Lang can be out there doing some things.
But what... protesters, cause Joy, Cassie, no, the lady, the wife, the mama,
Janet.
No, not her. The other one. Wasp. Hope. Who's Joyce?
I don't know, DA. I don't know who you're talking about. I've never known who you're talking about. I don't think there's a single character in the MCU named Joyce.
Well, we'll table that for now. But Hope, they introduced the movie just like, yeah, she's fixing world hunger, housing, all this stuff. So she's already with the philanthropy stuff. He's kind of doing what he can, just inspiring people with the look out for the little guys type of stuff and doing book readings. He doesn't necessarily have to be out there
on the front lines, rah-rah. Especially if there's not a threat that is of need of an Ant-Man. Ant-Man, like, it's just like Captain America giving speeches to the troops. He doesn't necessarily need to be on the front lines to still be doing some good, quote unquote.
So long as there is injustice in the world and Ant-Man is not dealing with it, is he seen as a negative? I
mean, and then at that point, what do you choose to protect? What do you choose to go after? Let's say he does that protesting thing. Okay, is he going to go to Wall Street and try to confront somebody stealing money from regular people? Where does it end with him? Is he going to heist break into some places and try to give the money back to the people Robin Hood style?
Cars, emissions, CO2, ozone layers. Are you going to start stomping on cars?
Like, I agree that there are things that Scott Lang can do, but he's still doing things, even if it's not the things you feel like are worthy to be done.
And he was also very integral in the biggest thing. I think you pull back for a little bit.
I think you should be allowed to kick your feet up for a couple months if you save the world.
Just half of trillions of people.
He saved legitimately half the universe.
He ain't gotta be doing something every day. It's been, what, a year?
I would take that year off.
Rallying against the destruction of homeless encampments. Encampments, mind you, created by the Victory that Scott was a direct part of. And Ant-Man is just reading books to kids. At first...
No, pause. This is a problem that the world needs to address, not Scott himself. Yeah.
Why is the world allowing these people to be homeless because they were blipped away or the blipped ones came back?
Surely there would be some sort of government fund for a stipend or something for blipped people.
But that's very much like the troops coming back and just being homeless because there's no, like, net for them after they come back. If you want to talk about those types of injustice, because what can Scott do? He's not a politician. He can't. I mean, he can speak on it. He can try to rah-rah some people.
Listen.
But what can he do to make the government go, all right, we're gonna save people that were blipped from last year now?
Literally somebody in his hometown, somebody that he runs into, you gotta assume a fair amount of times, called him Spider-Man. He doesn't have that big of a sway in this world. People don't want to take pictures with him. People want their dogs to take pictures with them.
You want to take a picture with me too? I'm Antman. The kid doesn't want to take it. What a growl! It was so good.
I was concerned.
But yeah, that's where he is in this world. So him just speaking on something.
You don't think this is a good right here?
This is enough.
This is an inspiration to this
small town stuff that you wanted. But just the homeless encampment, I don't know what he would do there.
What could he have done differently from what Cassie did? Because, as far as I know, they just would have both been locked up. Is he going to stay there with them until the government backs down?
And in that case, why does it need to be Ant-Man and not just Scott Lang?
that the film was going to just pay lip service to this idea, to reference Endgame, but also the real-life parallel of the homelessness crisis in San Francisco, and then immediately move on. But, to the film's credit, Cassie doesn't let this go. The subject is brought up again, and then they get stuck in the quantum realm and find out about what's going on with the revolutionaries there, and the people being displaced there, and how Kang is oppressing them. Scott is hell-bent on getting home with Cassie and the others no matter what, turning a blind eye to people in desperate need of help. Cassie has to have a dialogue with him and reassert that he's...
No. It wasn't just about ignoring people from help. He literally said, we don't know time here. This could be 10 minutes here, 3 years out there. We got to go. It wasn't just about now. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't understand. Perfectly rational. You can't help every single person.
That's a Superman's ideology. Like, it's when people go, why isn't he just Superman 24/7? Because you simply can't save everyone. You can't save everything.
You don't know what they're up against. You don't know if they're the positive or the negative force. You don't know anything about this world.
Ant-Man. As I mentioned before, Scott has always been the people's hero across all of his films, always fight.
Who was he the champion of in the first film? Or even the second one? Who were the people he were helping, and not just people that were in the direct path of what was going on around him?
Filmspeak is going to explain that.
Because we see Spider-Man helping old ladies across the street, getting people sandwiches.
Doing a backflip.
And looking out for the little guy with what little power, privilege, and platform.
What little guy? Who is the little guy in this narrative of who Scott Lang has been helping? Has there been some lost kid that he was helping? While all this big explosion, oogie boogie stuff is going on? Who are the little guys?
And he's going to explain that as soon as you press play.
He has. Now, as he struggles to find his next great adventure and purpose,
next time,
he finds himself conflicted with duty and his own wants and desires. The film puts Scott's selflessness to the test. It asks, how far is Scott's...
It doesn't even really put it to the test because he doesn't change the outlook as far as I know. He does it for Cassie. He gets back to Cassie. He's trying to save Cassie and get over there, and then Kang arrives.
Yeah. It's basically all about Cassie. There's never really a thought of, what's this thing for? What happens when I give it to you? Are you gonna kill all of the humanity with this thing?
He gets up big and he goes, where's my daughter? We have a deal. We had a deal. Our word is our bond. And destroy everything.
It was just like, hey, go down there and get me this thing. There's no question about it. Where was the duty there? He doesn't know what this thing does.
I don't think it was tested as much. Did he say tested or challenged? Whatever it was. You could say it was challenged in that, but I don't even think Ant-Man has really ever had a duty. The first one, it was a heist, and then the guy went after his daughter. The second one was Ghost, and they just had to stop her. What sense of duty? It's more the tech that he uses going out of control, so let me do that. That's been basically his duty.
Selflessness, his uplifting of the little guy willing to go.
He keeps, and again, like I said, he fell into that. So once he said that, he looked at it in that mindset of, yeah, the little guy. And that's how he looked at it. The previous movies, my water's over here.
Boy, that was an empty hand. That was like Phil grabbing for it.
It's like those dumb moments where you just like, you got your phone in your left hand and you're just like, where's my phone?
Dude, legitimately
I feel like such a crazy, I'm just like, Just put me in the ground right now. What is this?
I was cooking, and I was looking for the spoon I had to stir my... and I went, where is it? And it took me, legitimately 40 seconds of looking around all the places I would put that spoon before I went, it is literally in my hand.
What is that? I'll have a fork in my mouth like, where's my fork?
It reminds me of that gif of that woman that's breastfeeding and she's rocking the crib at the same time and she looks in and the baby's out there. She's like, what's your name? It's on her. She's like, oh, my heart. Like someone is literally sucking on you. And it's just like, sometimes your mind just wanders and you just get completely lost in the sauce.
If he transports to a completely other plane of existence, will he still retain that which makes him who he is, the principles and beliefs that make him a good person and a hero? But Cassie's idealism
His mindset has never been to help every single person. It's foolish to think that you can against threats that you don't understand. It's just that simple.
I mean, if anything, he showed his selflessness when he goes, I can give you your time with your daughter back if you just go get this thing. And he goes, nah, no deal.
I'll kill her.
I guess I have no choice.
also put to the test by seeing what Kang has done to these people. It's an even worse situation than the homeless encampments in San Francisco. She's thrown into the middle of a war zone and she's forced to fight in the midst of it.
No, she chooses to fight because they were running away and she turned around and went to go fight.
Before they invaded, what's so bad about that place other than they're just displaced? Did they talk about a shortage of food or resources or anything?
A want of things.
It's just the fear of...
but he's killed a lot of people.
Sure, absolutely.
It's the fear of at any time this month can go, she's still not back. I am so angry. I'm just going to wipe out your town.
But that's a difference between the connection that he's trying to make of the displacement versus the homelessness. But that's just a complete fear of death from a dude that could just go flick his finger and snap your neck, which he just never does.
Eventually going through a similar trial by fire as Scott did in the first film. Scott's there to help her along the way, albeit reluctantly.
I wouldn't even say that. He gave her a piece of advice. Momentum. Shrink, flip. You see it? Done.
But given what Scott's been through, he's not sure he wants to go through something like this again and risk losing more time with Cassie, or even worse, Cassie herself. Now, when it comes to the Pyms and Van Dynes, Hank and Janet seem to also be struggling to balance who they are now with who they were when they were Ant-Man and the Wasp. You get the feeling that Janet's missed a sense of normalcy, that she wants to live in the now and...
You don't get the sense she says it out loud. I just want it to be your mother.
And that's because she's been stuck here for 30 years. It's completely understandable. Understandable character traits. Wow.
Wants and motivations.
Instead of recounting the past 30 years in the quantum realm. Obviously...
Why would she want to recount the past 30 years of being almost killed by a genocidal maniac?
Imagine somebody gets out of Guantanamo Bay in 30 years and just goes, why aren't you talking about your time in Guantanamo Bay? Like, why would I?
Gave him the technology to potentially rule this entire quantum realm. Why aren't you talking about this every day? Why? You moved on. Well, yeah.
The idea of communicating with the quantum realm because of the threat Kang poses, but she's also trying to bury her experiences down there. The reality is...
I hate the fact that she's just sitting there. The second that they say, this is a thing that quantum realm, she's like, nope, shut it down. Because whatever, you don't know if they could go in, come out, whatever. Soon as they start talking about the quantum realm, she should be like, no,
Y'all ain't tell me nothing about this. Shut it all down.
Shut it right down.
She should have just been knocking over.
Yeah. It's like, hey, don't turn this on until you tell me exactly what this does. Not, hey, flip, and it sends out a beacon. And it's like, a beacon? Shut it down. She should be like, no. It should be a full-on, you talk about quantum realm? No. We don't talk about quantum realm. We don't discuss it. We don't go down there. We don't research it. Nothing. Because you know that there's a timeline destroying Muff down there.
What is the positives of the quantum realm, my grandchild and my husband?
What purpose do you want to research that? What do we gain by going down there and learning about it? Nothing.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. No.
Of course, Janet can't move forward unless she addresses and comes to terms with the past. Burying it is only going to make things worse, as we saw with Hank and how he failed to cope with losing her. It's also interesting how Janet and Hank have similar issues with trust, sharing information, and needing to have their hands on the wheel. It speaks to why they're so great for each other. They're like a hive mind with nothing but love, passion, and admiration for their work and each other.
Did she need to be at the wheel? Was that a hang-up of hers?
I don't believe so.
It was
more
simply...
she was like steering them out of the quantum realm because she knows the plan.
Yeah, it wasn't let me take charge. I guess it was kind of a take charge because I know what to do here and I know how to get around. It wasn't a need or desire for it. It was a necessity.
I wouldn't like if my friend lived in France and I went to go visit France, I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna take charge here, I'm taking the wheel. I would expect them to because they know the place, they know the area, they know where they're going, they know what to do.
But that wouldn't be a negative or positive thing. It wouldn't even be a thing that's worth bringing up. It's just a thing that exists because of the requirements for it to exist.
And what's also great about Hank in the beginning, and specifically his interactions with Cassie, is that he's clearly learned from his past mistakes of not sharing his insight and wisdom with those who seek it and already have an understanding of it. During the snap, Cassie became obsessed with the quantum realm and tried learning everything she possibly could about it from Hank's research. She clearly had a scientific...
So, in those 5 years, without the help of anybody else, she gets essentially better than everybody simply by reading while she is a teenager.
Not to mention that there was a whole group of people that wanted these types of things and they could not access it. I have a hard time believing. It's not unbelievable.
If you look at it in the world of you've got Shuri, you've got Riri, where they're just like, yeah, there's just omega geniuses out there, whatever, and they're teenagers, whatever, and they're all worms.
And that's not whatever, right, fellas?
Right,
it's an attack on our entire gender.
But yeah, it's just like, it's really just more of a, again?
I mean,
I'm just quantum physics. When we have to just go, little girl, basically a teenager, quantum physics is 5 years. No indication of that. It's like, I don't know.
Mind and also a bit of her dad's electrical engineering brain, hence why she's been able to construct something like the quantum telescope.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, she's just smart. I understand. But when was the last time somebody in the MCU rocked up and was just some normal person?
Scott Lang. Swish.
Antman.
Swish.
But again, it's just like Riri Williams in Iron Man suit in a garage.
Yo, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is not it.
It's not a great movie.
You can take that down a peg.
Probably ask, well, why did Hank just willingly help her develop something that could be potentially dangerous? But you have to remember, he was in the dark about Kang as much as the rest of us. And I think he was also...
But he also knows that his wife and Scott both got trapped in there.
Yes. The time displacement. Even though the time thing is so... I hate the time thing. Because Scott, he's down there for 30 minutes and it's years and years. She's down there for 30 years and it's 30 years. The time is just completely flat and wet. So it's like... And then the ants... They go off a different path and they go centuries ahead.
Yeah, that's what the quantum realm is. There are pockets of it that do this time displacement
it's
stuff.
Whatever is needed for the story.
Hey, it's the Speed Force. Ain't gotta explain.
Did you see that? There's a clip of the Flash TV show.
Oh, I hope. Is it the one where they're fighting with lightsaber swords, lightning swords? That one?
I was talking about the one where he just spins around somebody and then it creates a lightning and then he sort of lassos that, grabs the lightning and lassos it. And I was just like, tangible Speed Force lightning? Shut it down! Cancel this!
I mean, he's always had tangible Speed Force lightning because he would do that and then throw a lightning bolt. But to create a form for it and then the form... Hey, Speed Force, ain't gotta explain.
It's whatever is needed at this point and we're just gonna rock it.
Learning from his past experiences with Darren and Hope that if he didn't let someone in, share his knowledge to make for a better outcome, left them out to dry with the knowledge they already had, they would go through with it and probably result in something far worse and catastrophic. Hank gets a really nice, understated through line across this trilogy, showing him come out of his shell to expand his willingness to be collaborative and share his knowledge with someone for the greater good. You also...
I don't know if it's understated as much as it's not in your face. It's clear that he goes from nobody can touch this to Cassie, we'll build this together. It's not a hard through line.
What is there to be gained from the quantum realm?
Hey, you saw what the ants did. They built a whole civilization.
But they were already smart ants.
Yeah, but now they've time traveled smart ants and got even the smarter.
I watched this movie before, and when those ants showed up again, I was just like, where did them ants come from? And then I had to remember there was like 2 lines in the beginning of they're building colonies. Wow, these ants sure are smart. And they moved on.
Yeah, that's what we call a setup to those that pay attention.
I watched this movie
Your
before.
eyes were glossing over because that's how you watch movies, on clickety-clack on my phone, while us connoisseurs of Antman and the Wasp Quantumania.
What's that girl's name?
Cassie.
No!
He's looking at this time with Cassie as a second chance at raising Hope as a kid. He's excited by Cassie being interested in the stuff he is and wants to share it with her. And clearly, Janet wasn't willing to share. Hope tried to break down that barrier, but Janet put up a brick wall in response.
Hey, based on everything we saw in this movie, do you think she should have?
Do you think that was a right course of actions? Just like, I just want to forget everything that happened down there, all right? I'm here.
It's some real bad stuff down there, y'all. Let's not do this.
Let's do this.
But if they're thinking that the quantum realm is just some
because they were
metaphysical thing.
They were surprised by people being down there. But again, she should have said something.
Yeah.
This is not a good freeze frame.
This immediately sets up Janet's conflict of wanting to have relationships with all of these people in her family, but it's difficult when she's unwilling to share and let them in. And ultimately, if Janet had just been forthcoming with what she had known about the quantum realm and the threat that lied within it, Cassie wouldn't have built something that allowed her to communicate with people in the quantum realm.
Oh, I do not believe that, because if she said that Kang is probably down there killing people, she would have went down there in the quickness.
Yeah, it would have had to be very carefully worded. But yeah, it's no, this would have been the outcome.
It's Hank's failings from the first Ant-Man all over again. And this element of exploring family dynamics and the damning effect of secret keeping helps further tie the Ant-Man trilogy together. This is also a great parallel, ultimately, to what's happening with Scott and Cassie. Scott is following a Janet-like path of when she was down in the quantum realm.
This whole video is literally the themes of
family.
I can't believe this. We're not talking about how it works structurally, the plot points, the story beats, just the theme of family, the character through line that is quote unquote finished in this movie.
Has he said Wasp? I think he's only said Kang like twice.
Yeah, in the beginning to go, oh, here's Kang.
Wanting to return to her daughter and is willing to do whatever she has to, make deals with whoever she has to, Kang, in order to do so. But with the help of Cassie, Scott is able to understand that he can't run. He shouldn't run. He can't be selfish when people need a hero. It's Scott Lang's
that he wasn't going to help people.
He went to go save Cassie.
He did not learn that. When the people started coming, she was just like, yeah, good job bringing the people. But he wasn't like, oh, I needed to. There was not a light bulb moment.
Ongoing redemption, and it's the Van Dyne families as well. It's arguably the most positive outlook undercurrent of ideas in any of the MCU's sub-franchises. But look.
That was a word salad.
This dude loves his family, boy.
I wish I loved anything as much.
The film is just fucking awesome, too. I love the character.
Okay, here we go. Story beats, characters, here we go.
Carrying over of the brisk pace from the previous two Ant-Man films and how quickly this thing moves, especially...
Efficiency? Are we talking about an efficient story?
Do you think that we've ever left?
So, when he talks about fun, is that what he means? That there's no time to just sit there and breathe and allow things to be explored properly? It's just like quick thing. Or
the ones that are small, they're usually followed up by something big.
With how quickly we get into the quantum realm and how the film still ramps up a gear beyond that. They establish where the characters are at, the stakes at play, and waste no time.
That's a movie. That's a story. Are we clapping for a story?
I would have liked a little more time, in fact, around the dinner table. Instead of just... Because what conversation do we get with Janice? Janet and Scott. I don't think if we get one.
I don't think they said like 3 lines to each other in this movie.
The proceedings. The pacing mixed with the wacky sci-fi elements really make this feel like a Saturday morning cartoon or even an 80s B-movie.
I don't care about the feel of a cartoon or a B movie.
Yes, I care about the quality.
Give me a good movie. You could have the most drab, sterile, piece-ish looking film with just brick square houses on a cut lawn. If it's a good movie in whatever way it is.
Times, and I mean that in a good way.
No, we're not going to
address
the
B-movie. Are exactly what I wanted from this film, and I'm honestly a bit surprised they gave that to us, considering how Kang and Phase 5 kickoff centric the marketing was.
Dude, look at this, and you thought it was gonna be not wacky?
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be not cartoony?
I just wanted the Ant fam to go on a small, quirky adventure through the quantum realm like the Ant-Man comics, something akin to Journey of the Center of the Earth, which there are also echoes of here, and break off into pairings in order to explore the relationship dynamics we discussed earlier. That's what I got. I have no complaints in that department, even though I know that's not necessarily what a lot of people wanted.
No. I don't think people would have cared if it was good.
Yeah.
Because we got breaking off in pairs of like the Avengers. But it was good stuff. Cap and Iron Man, Black Widow and Hulk. It was good things going on.
But you take away Wasp from this, what changes other than an action scene? They're all trust. Basically anything that she said, Hank could have said.
A world-building perspective, the quantum realm felt like an amalgamation of all the pieces of sci-fi and pop culture that Peyton Reed loves, and that inspired him. I got a lot of John Carter, some of the Star Wars prequels.
It's just sci-fi stuff.
Sci-fi dystopia.
It lights and big tubes and stuff like that. It is what it is. It's no better nor worse than a Star Wars.
When Hank, Hope, and Janet get to the Bill Murray bar, Temple of Doom's Blood of the Kali with the ooze, there is
I knew what it meant and I clapped.
literally even a direct verbatim line from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. When Hank goes,
"You're clapping for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?"
What does this person value?
Family.
Other than that.
None of them were
That
UV.
was a lot of the Justice League.
It was.
Soft band?
Hey, at this point, our bands are meaningless. The scores are meaningless.
Something's gotta be meaningful here. Help us, Phil, to find something meaningful. I hate him. I hate when he says meaningful.
But
He
all
says
of
it
it,
so much.
is that meaningful content? No, of course it's not. It's garbage. It's trash content.
What does meaningful content mean? Oh, I love that question.
I forgot how you answered it.
Some fluff bullshit of people watch me and they say, this, instead of me just doing penis jokes and them just laughing, I get emails of them going, I really had a really hard day where my grandmama was eaten by a pack of wolves, and I watched your stream and we had a conversation and I feel better.
Speed gets that. He's out there being misogynistic and sexist and racist, and he'll get I had a hard day and I just wanted.
Everybody does, and it doesn't.
All content creators.
Yes, because that's the purpose of the content.
If that's the purpose of your content, there are some people that are just like, I am going to make information. That's not necessarily I had a bad day and I want to.
Even that you could just like sort of shut off and just go, oh, and now I know about sharks.
Okay, it's interesting information, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to pull someone out of it's been a bad day.
I think so. If you can just disconnect and just go, oh, those are the mating habits of sharks.
But the comedy, the entertainment is at least a opposite to your feeling. That can pull you out. The mating habits of shark is just like maintaining.
It's just sort of like you're not really thinking about your issues because you're sort of gaining and retaining information. So you want to be focused on that.
So no matter what, it's escapism.
Yeah.
There's even some Tron Legacy thrown in there with Kang building an army and trying to break out of the quantum realm.
What army did he command?
Just a bunch of robots.
I guess that's an army. I guess that is an army. Not robots.
Do we
they
have
to be people?
I think there was somebody did read that mind.
Yeah, and then he responded in a way that was sarcastic and such, as opposed to just bleep bloop.
But I don't care about the influences, or I don't care what this is similar to. Talk about the movie.
I don't care about listening to a rap album and going, I was inspired by Cameron. Okay, but is your song good?
Hey, a dictator is controlling a futuristic army. Do you have to point to things? It's like, just like, why can't it just be that? Because I can name a bunch of different things that do that. It's not a thing that's worth bringing up.
Trying to break out of the grid. Reed is hugging probably suffocating those inspirations perhaps a bit too tight, as some of the homages aren't really homages as much as they are copy and pastes, but you can tell they're done with love, and they all still mostly work despite the obvious cribbing. It's his sci-fi love letter, and that's saying something considering the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy and the Thor films have really been, doing a lot of sci-fi stuff, but this to me feels like proper science fiction,
Why? Why does this feel like it and not Guardians?
Yep, and not Thor.
I'll at least grant Thor, because Thor has a lot of mysticism, and there's only a few odds and ends you could point to science fiction wise. Why not Guardians of the Galaxy? It's a galaxy quest of bandits doing
planets
things,
and different places,
different species with different technologies, different weaponry. Why does this feel more science fiction-y? And what does it mean to be more science fiction-y?
Man got a nose.
Science fiction, whereas the others, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess, is more Star Warsy in an extent. Space opera, I guess that's a phrase. I hate using that. That's not really
Okay, go back. Go back to that big shot of Drax. Oh, yeah, sorry. You gotta...
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It is what it is.
Big shot of Drax?
Yeah, there was a Drax with his arms out. Yeah, you can press play from here.
Yeah, I was just trying to get to 1805.
more Star Warsy in...
Yep, there we go.
How did you just take out Drax and just go, they go here in the quantum realm? Who's gonna be like, no, they don't. This is a futuristic looking place. It
with a odd colored sky, because you can see a little bit of the blue sky over on the left hand side of it, with kind of a dystopian feel.
What makes
I see no difference.
Quantumania better than this?
Science fiction wise.
Science fiction wise.
An extent, space opera, I guess that's a phrase. I hate using that. That's not really the right phrase. And the Taika Waititi Thor movies are gross. I mean, seriously, like, Quantumania does what Thor Ragnarok tried to do, but is better at it, which I...
Family.
But it explored the family.
Oh, not enough, apparently.
I don't know what he wants. How did Guardians of the Galaxy not do it? Especially with the Gamora stuff. With Nebula. What is the difference here?
What up? You only wanted to win. I wanted a sister. Yeah, what up? Big emotional scene in this empty theater. Oh, I got a call. I don't give a shit about what's going on the screen. Yeah, what up?
You are just never gonna forget it.
If I had any feelings towards that movie where I had to rewatch it or something, like I really like that movie, it'd be ruined. Because I'm like, oh, here comes the moment.
It's just such association now.
I only wanted a sister. Yeah, what up?
Like, how many more lines can you think of from that movie? But you remember that one?
Yep. Big emotional culmination of character arcs and stuff. I don't give a shit. I'm taking this phone call in the middle of a movie theater. I'm not getting up.
I'm not walking away.
I'm not walking away. This person's going to be hearing Guardians as I talk to them.
That was gonna sound like heresy to some people, but like, it worked better for me. It was more consistent. Like, they weren't undercutting the tension with jokes.
Oh, you cannot be serious. Literally, I killed so many Avengers, I don't know which one of y'all you is. Yeah, Thor muscles.
I'm dying. You've always been like a brother to me, Scott. I have?
At least I get to die in a bit. That did have a Bill Murray Zombieland-like moment that I greatly enjoyed. You gonna be okay? I don't think so.
The Bill Murray one was way better.
It's a slow turn. No.
Look at him dead in his eyes.
No. It's just a slow hit.
Are you gonna make it or are you gonna be okay?
But yeah, come on. This movie does do that.
Yeah. Maybe it doesn't do it as frequently. Maybe it doesn't do it as in your face.
But you can't say that it doesn't.
Because it 1,000,000,000% does. And there's no reason to undercut emotional moments with tension. Because this is a little bit of spoiler for Ready or Not. Ready or Not is a black horror comedy. So a lot of the nastier bits of the movie are undercut with comedy. Like, there's a character there that is not good with weapons. So she gets a crossbow and she shoots it. So she's trying to shoot the girl they're chasing and she hits one of the maids. And then she drops it and the girl runs past her like, oh my God, I suck. And then later on, there's a big family meeting. Like, okay, we'll all gather together. Let's go do this. Here's a gun for you. And she gets the gun right as a attendant is walking in, and they shoot her. And it's supposed to be like this person has been in our family for years, and now they're dead. But no, it's a jokey joke. There is no problem undercutting drama with comedy. You can't just mark it as a negative, and you can't just lie about it.
Jokes were just baked into the DNA of the film.
Oh my God!
Okay, no, but this does do it.
It's just organic.
You can just excuse whatever you want in that case. Then
it just felt organic. It's just like when people are like, I saw this. Oh my God! They're making these video game characters artificially gay, and I just have to go. One, what is organic gay? And two, how do you make a fictional character from your mind not artificial? And it's that type of stuff where you want to see the good in this, or you want to see the negative in that. So that feels artificial, while this feels organic. It's woven into the DNA of the film itself, as opposed to just throwing out a jokey joke.
yeah. So yeah, this is the different thing.
Disgusting. This lost at a point. Before this, I was like, this is like a 7. It's whatever. This lost at a point off rip.
I don't know, man. I just had more fun watching this than
See, this is bullshit. This guy, oh my fuck, that does not matter. When you're trying to judge the quality of the film, you can't slag off
This thing
Ragnarok.
has the jokey things and the drama moments, but this thing does it too. But it's woven into the. I don't know. I just had more fun.
You can't be allowed to do that as a film critic, as an analyst.
You can't go, this thing does this thing, this thing does this thing, and I have more fun with it.
If you want to say it's more fun, you should mark why it's more fun or why it's better, because two things can do the same things and one can be done well and one can be done poorly. If you want to say Ragnarok is done poorly, I will accept that if you explain why you think it's done poorly.
We can have some conversations about that.
If you want to say this one is done well, I will accept it if you explain why it was done well. You can't say that it did it over here and it doesn't do it over here. That is just factual lie. Objective, not truth.
To be fair, nope. That is Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought that he had made a Thor Ragnarok.
I'm going to say no, because he said it was sacrilegious, which makes it sound like he never reviewed it.
Yeah, no, he had not.
Cool.
Ragnarok.
Having said that, I do have some thoughts.
As fun as it
It's a man, baby. I need to watch those in movies.
I know Gold Member is not going to be a good one.
But it does have a couple of...
It has a couple of hits. but I know it's not going to be a good one because even when we first watched it, we were like, this is not as good as the other one.
Greater appreciation.
That's entirely possible. And it's also just as possible
that it is worse.
That it was what we always thought, and now that we even know more or better, it's even worse. But Austin Power, I have to say those are funny movies. I don't know if they're good movies, but they have to be. Just the golf cart scene is just one. I'm just like, that's just a funny bit. I'm sorry. The Dutch line is just a funny line. I'm sorry.
You know how many anonymous hitmen I killed over the years? And look at you. You haven't even got a name tag. You got no chance.
Just lie down there.
Go on. Oh, he's good.
I'm sure stuff like the Mini-Me stuff is not going to be great. But I'm sure it's a very funny movie. And you're right, I might need to revisit those.
Is to be there. I do think they could have perhaps fleshed out the substance of the quantum realm a bit more. The detail and the realization of the world is fantastic.
Detail. We got storm clouds. We got a bunch of stuff in the distance.
Don't get me wrong, in the scope too. This might be the MCU's best usage of the IMAX format to date, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it in 5:4. Seriously beautiful stuff, and again, unexpected. But there's really no sense of geography or location. The places our heroes go to...
Then does it even matter the scope? It's like video games. Oh, we got this big old world. Okay, but it's mostly empty. There's nothing to do in there. So do I care about how big it is, or do I want things to make sense in it, to be fleshed out and for everything to have meaning?
Oh, we gotta get to Kang. Oh, we're here now. Oh, we gotta go
Where
find
is
Scott.
Kang? Oh, here he is.
Yeah. Oh, we can just fly on this thing and we can go to this bar.
Are just sort of random. There's no real naming or anything. They spent so much time detailing the thing, and yet it still feels a bit hollow or surface level. Like you're playing...
Because it is. Yeah. Like a Star Wars is. And naming it the Drinky Bar is not going to make it any less shallow.
A third-person RPG and have only explored certain blotches of a much larger map. And from a purely VFX standpoint, yeah, the visual effects can be very inconsistent, and that's frustrating.
But you said we'd be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't watch it in 5:3.
It's just like Zack Snyder, where you gotta watch it in this format because you can see more of the image. And all those comparisons, just like, look at all the detail we missed. And it was like half of Momo's face, like her hair or something. Like, what are we doing here?
But if you're watching it bigger and crisper, surely those bad moments... They stand out worse than somebody like Phil just looking down at their in brightness at 98% screen on their phone.
What is he doing, dude? He has a computer. He has a laptop. He is still in his room. What are you doing? Just being next to your wife isn't really spending time with her. Unless y'all really care for each other. Because you can't have that comfortable silence just sitting around, just chilling, whatever. But if you're just like on your phone watching a movie just to be in proximity to her, stop that bush.
How was he listening to it?
Your phone.
Was he just playing
one in, one out?
Okay. No, he's not. He can't do that. He's got ear ooze.
No. Neck phone. Oh, yeah. Neck phones are...
Yep. So was he just playing it? Like them in Dumb Bastards on the bus?
Can he use earbuds?
That's worse.
I don't know if it's the moisture of the cupping and wearing it. Maybe he could use it in moderation. As opposed to all day, every day on my ears, blah, blah, blah. Even though I do the same thing. I ain't got no ear problems, Phil.
I don't know what he's doing. All day, every day. Legitimately. My job is headphones.
You get off the bus for headphones. And then go back on into your room with headphones. You're up probably 18 hours of the day. And 16 and a half are probably your hair falls on your head.
And not a single issue. Clean your
no. That's the problem. He's just filthy. He's just a filthy man. Dude, if he doesn't stop picking things off and just looking at them, I swear to God.
It could be a health thing. Could be a health thing.
What, his skin is falling off?
He might have scratched it in just like, ooh, the blue hand. Oh, wait a second. I don't think that humans...
Oh, dude. I wonder if it's got something to do with muscle atrophy. Because...
He's been walking and getting up and...
And I saw that thing arm, and my God, it is a twig. It was scary. I have seen, and this is a trigger warning to those types of people, but I have only seen those types of arms in like anorexic people.
It's really bad.
It was frightening.
Again, Phil talks about, oh man, I've lost so much weight. I'm like, you've done it in an unhealthy way. You do not look healthy. You look gaunt.
He's not packing muscle or anything.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's even losing fat or muscle mass.
It's like if he was in an internment camp and was just fed rice and beans. Just like, yeah, you're getting nutrition, but you're not getting really anything else. So your body is just sort of eating itself.
And even if you did get those other things, if you're not doing anything,
and he's not doing anything, he stopped power walking. That was his claim to fame for a while.
Cat's exercise bike broke, and after that, it's just like, I guess that's just done for our family. Forever, we're not an exercise family no more.
That's just not us.
I don't know what y'all want from us. We can't do it no more.
It's dead. At least get like a dumbbell and just, as you're with Cat, just sort of do something.
Yeah, while you're on the couch watching your movie through your phone. Why not just get like a 10-pound weight and just do this a couple
while you're
times?
waiting for while you're babysitting uploads, just do something. Because that's what I'll do. I'll just be in the middle of a cutscene, just...
Yeah, I was watching the Antman. I just get up every now and then and go, all right, let's do 10.
Yeah.
And this mother is just like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
just
6.
busting out 50 push-ups in a second. He's a monster.
How many push-ups do you think Phil could do? I mean, maximum amount of push-ups. And do you believe it would be double digits? He cannot go fast, so he can't just pump them out until he starts to feel it.
8 with good form, 11 max out. That 9, 10, and 11, they are sloppy. But 8 with good form.
I wouldn't give him 7. Legitimately, I give him 7.
I'm only giving him that because of his past with bodybuilding.
We've seen them photos.
I know. We've seen the super skinny Phil. We've seen the big chunky Phil. We have not seen the big roided Phil as he claims.
And I don't believe that man existed. The man that was smoking doobs in his college dorm room while the girls were flocking in and out of the doors, hanging off of the Adonis of DSP.
Again, I'm only going by simply that, and that is
okay. You could say that, but that was like 15 years ago at this point.
Sure is.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Look at Arnold. Arnold still got it. That's not fair.
Yeah, I'm sure Arnold's still pumping it up. Yeah. Like, it'd have to be somebody that legitimately just can't use their arms that used to be a bodybuilder. Like, it's just done. So
Phil can use his arms. He just chooses not to.
But that's what I'm saying. It had to be someone that can't build muscle mass who were a former bodybuilder.
Lex Luger.
Big Lex.
I think he had some health problems. Now, 2023. Let's go 2023.
Luger's still alive?
Yeah.
I'm glad he made it. Still big arms?
No.
Oh, no. Still bigger than average arms?
No.
Still bigger than Phil arms?
Not a hard bar.
I mean, his arm is a bar.
It's bad.
Oh no, Lex.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
I do believe.
I don't believe. What would you think is a maximum Phil pump?
Now or back then?
No, right now. And back then, as a matter of fact.
Dumbbell?
No, I'm not going to go back there because that's just... we're just an assumption. Who knows?
Dumbbell or barbell?
A barbell. A max rep of Phil. 80 pounds.
I was going 50. Because he was complaining about bringing in groceries.
You do 50 on the one boy. What are you...
For free, for nothing, and it's getting light.
Dude, you're going to be using a barbell more than me at this point.
But Phil, he was complaining about groceries. And it's just like, you're not doing in 8 gallons of milk. You're doing some bread, some eggs, some milk, some cheese. Maybe
something with a bit of weight to it, like flour or sugar.
Yeah, some of those canned tomatoes or something. He's rocking 20, 25 pounds, maybe.
You never realize how light a thing is until you see how much it weighs and then you pick that thing up. Because when I was working at McDonald's, we had like 50-pound bags of something. And I'm picking it up, I'm like, I feel like this should be heavier than it is. So if you're scruckling with legitimately 9 pounds of groceries on each arm, it's a Rizzy rap for you. But have no fear, the DoorDash is here.
The fact that he's just like, yeah, bring my TV upstairs. So, what was it, a 50-inch TV?
Yeah.
My TV in there is 30 something, maybe 43. I forget what it is. And I'm just like, it's so light. TVs nowadays are nothing.
I had no problem bringing this up here. I think this is 55. It's 50.
Bring in my TV. And he can't do that himself. He's got nothing.
So why do you think his arms can support the weight of his body for a push-up?
I said 8 in good form.
For 8 push-ups. If he can't do a 50-ball barbell. Dude, I'm gonna have to timestamp 2 different DSP discussions.
There are times where it's very obvious the actors are up against the volume or a green screen, and then there are other times where the visuals look fantastic, mostly the IMAX shots. The difference in quality from shot to shot is so irritating, and I do think
I did not notice, but I'm not somebody who looks for it.
And we were not on IMAX, so we didn't have the clarity of it.
If the film overall looked consistently questionable or consistently beautiful, it would land better than looking like this, and then a few minutes later, like this. You wouldn't have the tease of how
with
great...
that shot? That shot looks kind of wonky. The blue screen.
No, that's what he's saying. This is the one that looks wonky. The one before was good.
What was good about that one? Could you potentially? This is your fault for not backgrading for 2 weeks.
You know what?
Fair.
Looking like this.
It's a character.
Yeah, it's a practical effect.
The background is even blurred, so it's easier to cover up those types of issues you might have.
And that could just be some cardboard boxes and some lights.
Or a matte painting or something.
And then a few minutes later, like this. You wouldn't have the tease of how great it can be if you had just simply given the VFX artist enough time, contrasted with moments where, oh boy, it looks like Spy Kids. I also think that because we're sort of on this
Wasn't he just slagging off hyperbole earlier? There is nothing.
He truly believes it in his heart.
There is nothing in this movie that looks like Spy Kids. Let's not do it.
Didn't you see them standing there in their Spy Kids outfit? That's like Spy Kids.
In a new world with these characters, there's inherently going to be some exposition. That being said, there's entirely too much exposition, too much telling, and not enough showing, especially when they don't seem to be concerned with laying out any cohesive rules for the world, which I don't really mind because this is the quantum realm.
I was waiting for it.
Same thing. I didn't want to pause for it so I could go,
what are you talking about? And then he just says what he's talking about. So it's just like, let it rock.
But he doesn't say what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's literally based on nothing, no sense of physics or whatever, and that's where a great deal of the fun comes from. Everything and anything can be what it wants, and there's a bit of randomness to it that you'd find in a Saturday morning cartoon. But because there's a conflict already in progress here between Kang and the Revolutionaries, Janet and Kang, they need to spend a lot of time catching us up. That being said, for as many tones as the film pivots through, and it's quite a bit, I surprisingly think it does a solid job balancing them. It never felt too jarring, so, kudos to Peyton Reed and Jeff Loveness for that.
Yep. That's what his problem with Ragnarok was. You can have some super sad stuff, but you can have some super jokey stuff. And it needs to weave better to toe the line between jokey and comedy to where you get a 4 sad and a 6.5 comedy as opposed to a 3 sad and an 8 comedy.
There was a little goo man talking about hoes, and that was basically his entire character. And then there was Antman going, I'm willing to die with you, Kang, so long as you don't go out there.
It also beautifully encapsulates the nonsensical randomness that's...
There's a broccoli man! With the line, he looks like broccoli!
Talks about...
This shot, I'm sorry, this shot always reminds me of the Valley of Corrupted Gravity in Legends of Dragon. And I will put up a video of that exact thing so people know what the I'm referencing. No, I'll put it in the description. That's what I've been doing recently. References there. It looks like the Valley of Corrupted Gravity.
It's very interesting.
In the bookended voiceovers of the film, his life doesn't make sense, and life in general doesn't always. Maybe doesn't even usually make sense, even if you aren't a superhero. The tone of our life can pivot on a dime in reality, and I really...
What's the last thing that didn't make sense in your life? I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I got nothing for you. Nothing for you.
There are things that I don't understand.
Yes.
So in that case, they don't make sense. Like, I don't understand how a faucet works.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always flowing. And it's basically a stopper.
But if it's always flowing, wouldn't it, the pressure... Like,
yeah, that's why. What do you mean the pressure? It's always flowing for a specific amount of pressure. That's where, like with the shower head, there's water pressure.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we got the faucet, and and then it opens and closes.
Yeah.
It stops at a certain point, and then just stops filling up, and then it continues. That doesn't make sense. How does it know to stop without
the same way a tub does, where it has that. I guess it would be called a safety valve or some type of thing, so it doesn't just rocket off from your faucet at all times, and it releases that pressure and goes back in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what is the mechanism by which it stops itself?
Yeah, I'd have to go into the faucet itself too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I understand the concept of a faucet.
So most people are just like, I don't understand how a plane flies.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't understand how a faucet works.
It's a life thing where I'm just like,
I use it every day.
Yeah, but I don't understand it. I know Mom Schofield in the comments is like, oh, DA, watch this video. If I cared enough, I would have watched that video.
That's the crazy part.
I'm just securing my ignorance.
We have the ability to gain the knowledge and refuse to do so.
Yes.
So you are not helpful.
No. You're not doing anything by explaining this to me, commenter.
People in the Discord.
If I cared, I'd know it. But it's a literal shower thought of just like, oh, wait a second. How does this? Whatever.
It's just like the people in the Discord that were just like, BG, Austria is not part of Australia. I'm like, I don't care to know that.
Oh, word? Okay, cool.
They truly do not understand.
Yeah.
It's willful ignorance.
It's the ignorance, and it's also the why should I care?
Why should I care?
Trying just like who is James Vanderbeek and what was his politics? It's like why does that care? What does it matter?
Why was World War II started?
Yeah, there's mom that can recite every single president and their politics and their political affiliation. What does that do?
BG, you don't know all 46 presidents? I barely know 8. What do you want from me?
What does it do to know the 53rd president? 53rd? My goodness.
The 28th.
28th president. What does it do for you?
Who is the 28th president? And I'm sure there's people in the comments saying, oh, I don't even need y'all to look it up. I know who the 20... All right, what did that knowledge do for you?
Yeah.
Where did you use that knowledge?
Of course I know that it was Woodrow Wilson.
Cool.
Okay, cool. What now? What of it?
What of it?
Oh, yeah. I'm an accountant, and I know who Woodrow Wilson is. How does that help you in your accounting life? Oh, it don't? Keep it rocking, homie.
And that's my whole point. History only matters to people that want to study history. There are no... It is the impracticality of it that pisses me off and makes me not interested in it. Just like where things are in the world. Unless I am visiting that place, it is an impracticality to have that knowledge in my mind.
Like, who is the prime minister of Brazil or whatever
monarch they use. I don't know. What does that knowledge do for me?
Name a single one of them it's just like, I'm sure there's been dozens, but having the knowledge of Brazil, man, means nothing.
You know why I know the capital of Brazil? Because if I still know what you did last summer. You know why I know how to spell beautiful? Because I'm Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
Brasilia, B-E-A, beautiful. That's it for me. Put it in a movie, maybe I'll learn something. I just remember, I think it was even Tiny Todd that says Brasilia. That's the capital of Brazil.
I like how they captured that in the film. All right, let's get him out here. I've name dropped him a few times, but I can't possibly bury the lead about Kang any longer. So let me put it simply. Jonathan Majors is one of the best things, if not the best thing, to ever happen to the MCU.
Disagree. This is his second to third appearance. Mm-hmm. I don't think that you can grant that when he was on there for 45 minutes for Loki and the combined maybe 30 minutes in this movie. I don't think that we can already put him up there.
I would put him top 10 already.
Sure. Of things that happened in the MCU?
Nah, characters.
Characters in the MCU.
Or even actors portraying the character.
Sure. I'll give him top 10.
Right? Yeah. No, that feels right. We already knew that, though, because of Loki. I think this film...
completely different character, though.
Yeah.
Completely different portrayal. He's a good actor. Absolutely. And that's all we're going to say about him and or his personal life and or
alleged
any allegations that may or may not be pending.
Hands his character beautifully. Through Kang, the film tackles anti-authoritarianism.
Of course it does.
Another theme.
Of course it tackles so as soon as this is anti-authoritarianism. Thank you, Antman
and the Wasp Quantumania for tackling the deep theme.
Man.
It doesn't just condemn the conquerors, it condemns the people who are complicit in the conquerors' actions, like Bill Murray's character. He was a friend of Janet's, a colleague, brother-in-arms.
They just said he's kind of a douchebag for doing that.
Yeah. And he got eaten by a big goo thing.
even a lover, which, by the way, love the pro-sex messaging for older people. It's just great. Love to see it. Someone who Janet thought to have beliefs and would continue the fight against Kang following her departure from the quantum realm. She, of course, was wrong. He claims he fought as long as he could, but we all know he just sold out to save his own skin.
No, we don't know that.
We truly don't know that. We don't know that he didn't fight for as long as possible. We don't know what happened there. You are literally inferring it.
Mm-hmm.
He's an example of the selfishness that tempts our heroes.
I don't think that he is, because he is up against a force like Kang who can snap your neck at the twist of a finger.
And he went, I'll just be under his thumb instead of under his thumb.
And now he's got a big ship that he's riding around in. He's got currency. He's got power enough to command, like, hey, bring over some drinks and stuff like that. Instead of them in a cave or wherever they are drinking
currency.
Self and their needs at the expense of others and their lives. Hearing firsthand what Kang did to the revolutionaries and their people who were just trying to fight to survive. A conqueror burned down their homes and stories, built an empire on the bones of their people, really paints a vivid and tragic picture of the culture lost in the wake of oppression.
But you also complained that was tell versus show. So somebody just saying that means nothing. How long ago did this happen? 5, 10, 1 year ago? A couple months ago? How did he burn it down and then just go, okay, you guys can live? How did you get away? How did he not find you all this time? If he's got these centuries ahead technologies, surely he's got something that can tell life forms.
Maybe he just doesn't care about their little rebellion. Because it's not like they're really going to do anything.
I would like to know about that.
Age of colonization, making for an intimidating and ruthless build-up to Kang's reveal. You don't need to see him on screen for that long. His presence is felt even when he's not on screen, and the stranglehold he has over the quantum realm.
Haven't almost these exact same words been spoken by somebody before?
I wouldn't, but it sounds...
He doesn't even need to be on screen for his presence to be felt.
Yeah, that part, that is ringing. That might have been him with Darkseid.
You know what? You might be right. And even the stranglehold part sounds familiar.
I like the fact that Kang isn't just the next big baddie of the MCU. He has a personal relationship with Janet, so that helps make...
There's a bajillion of them. They're all gonna have a story of some form or another.
This one is not gonna have a relationship with
Loki.
With anybody else. So it's just gonna be another big bad guy. And you say that what a villain that we would consider to be good, because you can always go wrong the accuser, hasn't had some kind of a relationship with a hero.
I can't think of many in the MCU. Even if it's just like a revenge thing against the hero.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Whiplash was just like he had his whole thing with Tony there.
Stole my tech.
Thanos, Bucky, Baron, what's his name from Civil War?
Baron, I know what you're talking about though.
The stakes feel even more intimate. Kang's not only battling the Ant Fam and pushing his thumb down on the inhabitants of the quantum realm, he's battling himself. The other variants. It's an interesting way to depict someone going through a bit of a crisis of identity.
No, but we haven't seen that. We don't know how much stronger he is than the other ones. We don't know any of the fights, any of the struggles between them.
What is the Kang dynasty gonna be? Is it gonna be like the first Avengers where they had all those aliens, but instead they're Kang variants?
That would seem very lame, considering that he's just a pretty strong dude. And then you got the Pharaoh one, who's probably gonna be. He probably got some kind of powers. Oh, look in the comics, issue whatever.
If he can call the people, yeah.
But I don't. It's not gonna be.
Yeah, I mean it's been like that for basically all the Avengers. Whenever there's the big fight, it's just an extension of them, except for Thanos, really, where you have the Ultron bots and all that shit. So maybe it's just I'm the big bad Kang, and here's all the other Kangs. Go fight them, my Kangs. But the thing is, if Kang is the next big bad, and we're speeding towards it, there doesn't seem to be enough characters to handle a bunch of Kangs.
Yeah, their Avengers are lacking.
If
But maybe
there's
that's
even
what
an
the
Avenger.
Thunderbolts are.
Or even whatever happens with Secret War.
Yeah, Miss
Or Secret
Marvel
Invasion.
Which nicely parallels with Scott. In the end, Scott is able to reaffirm who he is, and for as much as Kang believes himself to be a conqueror, I mean, he is, but he's still searching for something. He's a man of many identities, so he's not entirely able to have that affirmation of who he is.
Okay, you keep talking about he's searching for this when there are many of them. This particular Kang already knows what he wants, already knows where he's headed.
He's
toward.
conflating the one with Loki with this one.
And that's not what you should be doing.
Because literally when Janet said, "What are you gonna do when you get back?" He just goes, "Win." That is a affirmative statement of what I'm gonna do when I'm eating. I'll figure it out. No, it's just I know who I am. I'm gonna beat them muffs up.
I'm gonna kill them all.
As a chip on his shoulder because he was cast aside by the council, by his family. I have one.
No.
Yo, he looped it around.
Hold up, no.
Hold up, he cooking. Hold up.
No.
He got a little seasoning in there now. Hold up.
Oh, a little bit of oregano. That's new.
Okay, the smell coming
I
now.
didn't even think to put brown sugar in there. Hold up.
He might be on this. He cooking a little.
Come on now. You can't just say that.
If you are a family of one, are you a family?
Are you if you're the same month a million times?
Like, if you cloned yourself a million times and each one had a slightly different personality, are you inherently a family?
You can't just call them a family based upon us not seeing them interact with them. You can't.
Did the Kangs in the after credit scene present as family? Or did they present as a conglomerate of the same person?
That was a little jarring about Kang, and it was how Jonathan Majors played him here. Don't get me wrong, Majors is a scene stealer. He's menacing, a force of nature. I mean, when isn't he? But
You just gotta pause on that for a second. It all sounds bad now.
No, it's fine.
he feels a little bit like he's acting in an entirely different movie. I really like that Darren was MODOK, and it was a pretty creative way of taking what happened to him at the end of the first Ant-Man.
We can't be, that can't be the end of his thought with...
No, he's showing why
I
the
hope so.
differences.
I hope so.
And using it as a reckoning of Scott's legacy versus who he can be as Ant-Man in the future. Ever since Scott destroyed Darren, their fates became intertwined.
I think that's the end of Kang.
That cannot be. It can't be he feels like he's in a different movie. Oh, but MODOK, by the way. This has to be leading somewhere.
I mean, that's like saying Ant-Man and Iron Man 3, British actor, man, he felt like he was in a different movie before the reveal.
Why did he feel like he was in a different movie?
Because his acting is all serious and restrained, I guess.
And Cassie was caught in the middle of that as well. That night, two things happened. Scott became the hero his daughter always saw him as, inspiring her to go on and become one herself. But Scott simultaneously mutilated Darren, transforming him into MODOK. In a sense, MODOK sort of becomes Cassie's first big antagonist, and it makes sense since they were both forged as a result of the events in her bedroom that night. He was the monster trying to kill her, and she was too young and helpless to stop him then. But she's not helpless anymore, and she's finally able to defeat the monster in her closet from all those years ago on her own. Instead of killing him as her father, I guess quote unquote, did, she can inspire Darren to be better. He's a dick, and he doesn't have to be one.
Dude, I don't know how you inspire someone by going, stop trying to be whatever you are. Well, tell me what to be. I don't know. Just don't be a dick.
There was
and
no
now
inspiration.
Character 180.
You punched him and then just went, you suck. Stop sucking.
I don't see how you can.
How can she be such a big activist and somebody sitting there begging, just like, tell me how to be better? And it's just like, well, just stop being you. Stop being everything that you have been. All right? You big face?
That's a choice he's making because he lacks a sense of identity. All he wants is the approval of someone, whether it's Hank or Kang. He doesn't know how to be independent. He's unable to be his own person.
Oh, you are reading way too far into this.
Into this dumb, big face, horrible CGI monster. This is him reading into everything that he wants to make it seem as deep as possible.
What else can you have when you're dealing with Antman and the Wasp Quantumania?
Until Cassie helps him. She sees someone in need, and instead of ignoring them, instead of turning a blind eye, she extends her hand.
No, she doesn't. She literally tells him, you suck.
Hey, what's the difference between what Cassie did and what Valkyrie did in Ragnarok? What is the difference of the story of Quantumania and Ragnarok?
He thinks that this is more fun and he likes it more.
But why?
Well, he explained it already.
No, he gave the overview, which you can supplant right into the middle of Thor Ragnarok.
You were listening. You were too busy talking about Phil. I tried to stop you.
I could never be too busy talking about Phil.
Able to appeal to him and allow him to reclaim.
Appeal to him? She said, stop being what you are. Stop being a douchebag.
His identity for himself. I think that's part of what I love about this film is it's interrogating our characters about their character. Are they
Holy crap.
Hey, what was the Wasp interrogated on? The titular character.
What was Hank interrogated on? I like this movie, but I gotta figure out ways to justify its stinkiness.
No, a movie could just be the stinky.
It interrogates its characters.
About their character.
willing to make a change for the better, to become and embrace who
what
they
was
truly
Cassie's interrogation?
No, she was the paragon of right.
She was justified in her, we can't just leave these people.
Yep. She was
and
always
then
the right one.
They came and helped with the big war.
Yep.
So, we've got Hank and we got Janet. Not Hank. We got Scott and we got Janet.
And it seemed like Scott's was never resolved because he didn't really try to help the people on that level, at least. It's more like you got helped by osmosis.
And so we got Janice, but hers was simply Janet. And we got Janet's, and hers simply was, there's a monster down there that I helped create. I ain't talking about that. So it's justified enough.
Yeah, it wasn't even like her character was challenged. It was just like her...
And you probably should have told us the truth. Yeah.
The best of themselves? Will they double down on what makes them a hero or a villain? It's a journey of self-discovery, reaffirmation, uncovering...
Dude, that is literally... What is the difference between this and Captain Marvel? What is the difference between this and Thor Ragnarok with the self-discovery? And then finding yourself, a journey to find yourself. What's the difference?
This is more fun.
He is basically naming every MCU movie. What's the difference between that and the MCU Spider-Man movies? Self-discovery, finding yourself? No difference?
Nuts.
Okay, cool. So many of the things you're saying, these larger overarching things you're saying about this film could be literally moved over 7 centimeters to the right to those films you don't like, and does it make them better now? And if the answer is no, then this doesn't make this movie any better either. You're just allowing yourself to prop it up because you like it, whereas you're not allowing the other movies to be propped up because you don't like them.
For some reason.
Even if it's mechanically the same things.
Identity. It's about how new environments and new challenges test your very character, and
We've already talked about the testing of the characters and how it doesn't work the way he thinks that it works.
Didn't that happen in Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You hated that movie. Didn't that happen in Thor Ragnarok?
No, he really dug it here.
Oh, okay. Here.
Uh-huh.
There's no difference, though, huh? Okay.
That here. Kang is the only one to see that time is broken, and he trusts no one else to fix it but himself. Kang only sees...
I don't know how it's broken.
Yes.
They say that there's a bunch of Kangs meddling with the timelines, but we don't see that.
In what way?
In what way? We saw that at the end with Loki, where he's just doing some hokey, newfangled whatever, even though he shouldn't be able to do that since it was before the 1960s, and he's a black man, so they'd be throwing tomatoes at him. But... this is Kang going, yeah, it was some bad stuff.
A Negro?
A Negro? What? He wouldn't be showing stuff. He'd be the attraction. But yeah, I don't believe the struggles that the Kangs are going through with the timelines because I don't know what they are.
I don't know what the struggles are. How do you believe something? Well, God. But how do you believe something that is not shown? It's literally blind faith. It's literally a blind belief that we just have to accept that the timeline is broken in the Kang's eyes, and that's why they're meddling with it.
And I don't know how strong the strongest Kang is. I don't know how weak the weakest Kang is. I don't know the difference between the strongest and the weakest.
Picture, the broad strokes, missing the little things and people, ecosystems, which is the exact opposite of the ant fam. Hank's ants have been living in the quantum realm for decades and have built a colony and prospered. Ants don't give up. They work together to accomplish things much bigger than themselves. Hank quotes Scott's book saying, "There's always room to grow." Little guys working together like ants to become something more. Hank uses the ants as an allegory and example to advocate for socialism, which is hilarious in the context of the film, but also, I mean, look, the man spends some...
Socialism? Or did he just go do this so you will go fight the big guy?
I think he said something like, "There's we can learn something from these ants in their society."
But oh yeah, he got cut off with that.
Yeah.
Truth there in that moment. It's great, especially when he uses that ideology to combat the iron fist of Kang's one-man rule, his dictatorship. Kang can't take it, and when he's being overwhelmed by legions, he finds Scott and the Ant Fam's inspiration from ants pathetic. "You talk to ants, what are you going to do? You're insignificant." Ants are the voice of the little guy.
Okay, but then what happens? In ants from a millennia in the future come and just bite him a lot. What is that? What's there to learn from that? How is that a comeuppance?
Bite some people and get it done. Hey, I bet you if we bite some CEOs, there'll be some changes.
There's not even an analogy to make. It's a bunch of ants. Okay, they all work together. Sure, whatever. But they're ants from millennia in the future. Far beyond our technology. So it's just like, yeah, these superpower in dust molecules, they're beating up the fully grown man. You go, okay, but they're light years ahead of us. What's that saying? If they were just normal ants and it was a billion of them and they did something, that'd be one thing.
Sort of like a zombie isn't necessarily a threat, but if you get a group of them, it becomes a problem.
But when you set it up as them having equal or around the same technology level as Kang, and then you go, they're beating up Kang, you go, well, of course.
They're stronger than you can imagine, and as they take down Kang with a caravan of ants, the Ant Fam also inspired legions to carry the torch, continue the fight, and rebuild their world. Scott is willing to sacrifice himself. He's willing to make sure that the ones he loves are safe, that the entire quantum realm is safe, because he
Oh, I don't know if he cared about the quantum realm or just making sure his family didn't get caught up in that bullshit.
always knows what the right thing to do is. Kang says, "You should have looked the other way." Scott retorts, "Never been good at that." I fucking love this exchange because it perfectly encapsulates who Scott is and who Kang is and the power disparity between the two. Scott knows he's not more powerful than Kang, that he can't beat him, but he also knows that Kang only wants to run. He just has to destroy what he's after.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
I also love how hope comes back for Scott, first in the probability storm and then in the final battle, in the way Hank couldn't, but wanted to for Janet. Again, making good on that second chance.
Did he really just thematic her coming back?
Yep.
Making things right the next go around or next generation. As Scott closes out the film, who says life has to make sense? That's life. Makes things meaningful and exciting. It doesn't have to be painted
I would
in
prefer if life makes sense. If a clown bust in this room right now, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, look at that. I'm like, oh.
That's just life.
I'm like, no, whatever's going on here, we need to
hash it out
outside.
Uniform. There doesn't have to be one clear path or a timeline or variations, differences. The weird and wacky make life full of color and opportunity. It makes
but when you're telling a story, it should be
sensical.
Yes. Or as sensical as it could possibly be. If you're talking about different worlds and different timelines and stuff like that, we can't explore every single one and all the rules within them. But if we're following some characters, they should know the rules. They should follow those rules.
It's exciting. It allows for an adventure and for everyone to feel loved and as though there's meaning. Scott is advocating for freedom of expression, of paying attention to the little guys and the differences that make them unique and who they are. This is such a beautiful punctuation point on...
This is, 1,000,000,000,000% speculation. Was Filmspeak a little guy in the sense that maybe he was bullied or passed over for something, and so this speaks to him more personally than it would the average person?
It could be one of those relatability things.
Yeah.
I choose not to speculate because I am better than you.
Cool.
The Ant-Man story, what he represents and what he represents in the face of those who wish to conform society, forcibly bend it to their whims and shape it in their vision. I feel that people expected something different from this film, a big quantum level face-off.
You expected something different from this movie!
And it wasn't the big quantum realm exploration or thing, even though that would have been nice. It's just not a good movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if the movie was different than I expected if it was a good movie. Because, like I said with Ready or Not, I thought it was just a horror movie. I thought it was just a woman trying to escape a place with people killing her. Didn't know it was a black comedy. Inga loves that movie. Imagine someone watching Hot Fuzz, just watching the trailer for Hot Fuzz, seeing all that action and stuff, and then just going, no, it's overall just a comedy. Yeah. The greatest comedy of all time, by the way.
Another cranberry juice.
Another cranberry juice. What year? Every year. Out. Oh, do you know that's the guy you got done up for Speed? It's such a good movie.
Between Kang and Antman, and yeah, there's some of that in there, but it's also a lot more character focused than I think a lot of us realized. I think a lot of people were expecting that this film was going to be what the Avengers v Kang movies are surely going to deliver. When Quantumania was about to come out,
it's understandable to have those expectations when you go, this is the next big bad. This makes Thanos look like a little piss baby. And then he's having a punch up with Ant-Man. Neither of them got suits. Mm-hmm. And he's just a pretty strong guy.
I thought we were getting that, and I wasn't looking forward to it. But instead, we got a truly worthy follow-up to the first two Ant-Man films. One which didn't lose the understanding of the ideas those first two films were exploring.
Family!
Never nothing else.
Some of you might think it's the worst MCU film to date, but for me, on its own, I think it's easily the post-Endgame MCU film to champion thus far. Scott has always been the people's hero, and he remains so even in another
If you say it enough, it's true.
8.5.
I was going 9.
I understand your 9, because that was the not good.
Filmspeak is, he's rough.
He is the not good.
He's I don't understand, but you know, it's film criticism and analysis and all that stuff. And like I said, I'm doing my own little tickety tape type, and I'm taking what I've learned from Revisited into that. So it's,
oh boy, Revisited's taught me a lot,
and it's very eye opening, the process behind the scenes. So I don't understand something like this when I'm doing something like that.
I mean, if you're you is it like the marketing of a movie where you're just trying to get as many eyeballs on the products, as many butts in the seat? So it's just a reaffirmation constantly of you are right, and I'm gonna tell you why you're right, and I'm gonna use all these big flowery words so that those people that aren't wise enough to grasp these concepts will go, oh no, it's the poo-poo. But you, by watching my video, gain a deeper knowledge, a deeper understanding of the film itself, the media, whatever it is, so you can, in turn, become wiser about the movie.
I'm not going to speculate because I'm better than you.
Unbelievable.
I'm just going to simply say, this muff can't write. This muff ain't got no checks and balances.
That's no speculation there.
This muff is just writing and gushing and just going, you like it too, don't you? And then people just go, yeah, I really like this movie.
I really didn't like this movie.
I also really did not like this movie. I am going to forget about it very soon.
Again, that's why there have been so many times we rewatch things just to be like, let's take a little bit of a refresher. This was not a refresher. This was basically me watching the movie for the first time. Because I remember almost nothing about this movie.
Did we need to watch it?
I believe so. I believe there were aspects of what he said that were furthered by us being able to say
more so than other ones.
Like, we didn't need to rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League for any of the Zack Snyder Justice Leagues we've done,
because it's never about that. It's not about the movie. It's about the stuff around the movie, pimpin'.
Oh, dude, and it's so tiring. Why is everyone's videos just kind of the same video?
Because it's easy to do that when there's so much conversation around.
Then how do you get yourself over?
By being the funny man, like our boy Nux coming up this Saturday.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be...
That's gonna be rough. This is late in the game, Nux.
Yeah.
This is...
He has all the nuances of his character and the themes of his channel.
And this is a whole new season and a half of Demon Slayer. He might have read the manga. He definitely
Nobody's reading the manga.
People are reading the manga.
I wonder how much the Demon Slayer manga volume sell, like, let's just say volume like 7, compared to volume 1. Because I'm sure volume 1 is, let's just say if it sold 30 million, I doubt volume 7 sold 4. Oh, that face doesn't. And an eye roll, perfect.
That's fine. We don't need to talk about this.
Yep, that's fine.
I should have never.
What?
I shouldn't just not look up Demon Slayer because it's just the same people
The endless stream of
all the time.
it's so pretty, y'all. It
just
looks
so
so
tiring.
good. Can you believe how hype? It is the pinnacle of anime. It's changed the industry forever.
It's gonna be so great when it's just forgotten. That's my dream.
Again, we've got another 2 to 3 years of it, and you know. So early on, this is by far the worst Demon Slayer arc. And early on, people were like, "This is so boring. This is so trash." But the second stuff, while we're looking at that final arc as, "Oh my god, this is horrible," those people are going to be looking at it like,
because it's fight,
it's
fight,
non-stop stream of fight,
and that's what they want.
Looking at the paths of people. And they are going to jizz all over their britches. There's going to be a giant Times Square viewing of it. There are going to be people weeping in the streets for it. Literally crying in the streets of Times Square for Demon Slayer.
So deserved.
And then, 4 years later...
Nothing.
I hope no one's ever talking about it anymore.
Nothing. Poof. Just gone.
Vamu, son of a bitch.
Gonna be watching it, just going, yep, this was pretty and substantiveless. There's nothing.
Because by that time, we're probably gonna have 4 to 5 more shows on the level of Demon Slayer within the next 8 years.
So it's always gonna be another thing.
So then you're gonna go back and rewatch Demon Slayer, but then by that time, nostalgia. Yeah. I want to recapture those feelings.
It's not going to be rewatching Demon Slayer. It's going to be rewatching parts of Demon Slayer.
Absolutely. Just like Dragon Ball. Who's rewatching all of Dragon Ball Z? Even Kai. Who is going right now? I'm going to go from episode 1 to episode whatever it is, 122.
It's not a good show. It's not a good enough show to do it.
They're going to go to their favorite moments. Gohan, Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah! Raw! Robot!
And that type of stuff.
It's just bad. It's just so nothing Demon Slayer is. It's legitimately cotton candy. Where it's just...
Yes. It is a...
It looks big, but it's just nothing.
It is a Nutella sandwich. Where it tastes very good. And you get a little bit of nutrients thanks to the bread. And it does nothing for your hunger. It does nothing for your body.
It's just... Well, we'll see what... I almost said Mark. Again...
What's Mark doing these days? Is he still on Full Metal Alchemist?
I believe so.
Bruh, I feel bad for him at this point.
Yep. You can only do that because he just don't care anymore. He's just stuck doing it. Yep, Full Metal Alchemist Part 3. Pride revealed. Mustang the GOAT is the second part.
Cool.
The GOAT.
Mark feels like the worst possible outcome of a content creator. The thing I fear the most of us just blowing up somehow, where let's say that all of a sudden in 2 years we're making 90K each off of this channel.
Unbelievable.
Let's just say this.
0%.
No, I understand.
Negative.
Not in 20 years will we be doing that. But let's just say that. I can't imagine just being like forced to do Revisited because this is now our job. Because there are weeks where we'll go, let's not do Revisited this week.
Yeah.
Whatever. There are weeks where we'll go, let's do it Thursday instead of Wednesday. We're doing it Thursday today. Let's do it Tuesday. I got something coming up on Friday. Let's do it Monday. I can't imagine just going, Revisited needs to be out on Thursdays because that's the day of Revisited. And then every other day we've got some other bad movie day is on Sunday. Check it out is on Monday.
Plus, there's also the fact of watching and reading stuff and specifically
I can't imagine. And you don't like it anymore.
You just don't like it. You're not reading this for fun. You're reading it for content. Everything that you read is in the lens of, I need to write this down.
What can I make content out of this? Dude, I can't imagine reading Liar Sotsky and just thinking,
this is quality. I can't imagine saying that either. I know, right?
Those are not the words out of my mouth. I can't imagine let's say, 8 chapters going, all right, I need to document everything that's going on so I can write a review about Liar Sotsky. I would hate it. And I love Liar Sotsky.
Why?
Unbelievable. I need to catch up in Miracle-chan.
I think I'm almost caught up in Liar Sotsky.
There is nothing worse than catching up. I am getting closer and closer to that bandwagon of you.
I'm telling you,
where's
it's
my
the way to
tablet?
go. It is the way to go.
Let me go to my recent boys because I just caught up in like 3 manga and I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
It's crazy. I'll be like, all right, let's see what's updated. 2 chapters of Watamote. Great, dude. I can't wait to read my 2 chapters.
Every day I hit that update, I'm just like, let me get like 4 things updated. Just Nagatoro. And I love Nagatoro, but I'm caught up in Liar Sotsky. I started reading a series called A Divorced Crybaby Has Moved In Next Door. Caught up in like a thing, like in 2 nights. Dunzo. Why? What am I doing? Ayumu done.
It is
Anju-san done. The Dangers in My Heart. I love The Dangers in My Heart.
Then why did you read it all?
I don't know. Comey. The next series I read, I just need to.
You have to.
That's the way to do it. Truly need to just go, hey,
pull back.
You get to read 4 chapters a week.
That's the way to do it, because you just go, dang, this is really good, and then you pull, because if you read like 80 chapters in a day, you just get kind of numb to, yes, this is good.
I don't get numb to it. I still recognize the greatness.
No, you do. But it's just like eating an entire gallon of ice cream.
Yeah.
You just go, yep, this is just ice cream.
At some point, you're just scooping ice cream into your mouth.
It's still good. It's still delicious. But it's not as delicious if you've had like a bag of potato chips in between. After an hour, you eat some chips, come back to it, and you just go, okay, now I'm refreshed and stuff.
3 scoops of ice cream is not necessarily going to be as good as just that first single scoop. Because, like you said, at some point, it's just, it's all bad. I'm trying to cut in my manga reading with, like, TV shows and stuff. because I've decided that I'm only gonna get into new TV shows while I'm on the elliptical. So I've been doing that every day and getting into new TV shows, and it's really helping. Like stopping me from binge watching TV shows because I binge watched all of You, the first 2-3 seasons. In fact, when I started binge watching it, the third season had just come out and I didn't know. So I'm like, all right, when's the fourth season? Because I'm caught up now. Oh, year and a half, sir. What are you doing here? Oh, really? Oh, cool. So yeah, I binge watched that. I've been binge watching shows, and it's just like, okay, now the show is over, or I'm caught up in the season, and now what am I doing here? I can't. You know, people are talking about appointment television, where it's like everybody tunes in Sunday for Succession or whatever. I don't care. I don't care about your discussions. I just want to watch the good thing as much as possible, as quickly as possible. But I see now I'm going to have to wean myself off.
I've learned that ages ago.
Nah, I'm young in the game.
Nope. I know what's up.
Because my mindset was, there's so much out there that even if I catch up, I can just find a good thing and just... Nope. But the problem is, once you get something amazing... Like a Comey.
Look at Turk. He was just like,
Ipo.
He's just like, Mom. And he's caught up. And he's just like, you can't go to another sports thing.
No, it's sports is dead. Oh, yeah, you've been reading Ice Shield.
It ain't hitting like Ipo.
Of course not. It can't.
And I think that's a big problem. Because I don't have a firm grasp on Senna's character yet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Ipo, it was... Chapter 1 or 2, I'm just like, this is this dude, this is what this dude is gonna be for all this time.
It's also a problem when you already hit the 10 and just trying to find it's hard to even find an 8.5. So even an 8.5 feels like a 7 because you done read the 10. Because I'm Comey, I love so many things. I love so many slice of life things. But I can't find something that is Comey.
It's not fair.
There's nothing in history. Comey, I think, is the only manga I gave to a 10 on my anime list because it is literally the only manga where there is no chapter I don't like. How is that even possible? So I'm reading all these slice of life things. It's just like, there's nothing bad here, but there's no
big bam.
Nagatoro.
So it's just sort of fluff, cotton candy, where you just go, yep, this is a slice of life. This is good enough.
That's about 80% of the slice of life I read. 15% are this is not Comey. I love it to death, but it's simply not Comey. 3% are this is not even trying to be Comey, and that's why I love it so much. Like Love is Hard for an Otaku, like Sweat and Soap, where it's not the right setting, it's nothing like Comey, and I'm good with that. And then there's the 2%, which is just Comey.
Read Aharian-san.
Dude, it's on the list.
It is very, very... That hits the spot.
You say that, and I'm...
If it would be the Comey if Comey did not exist for me.
That's not fair.
No, I know, absolutely.
Because things would have been the Ippo if you never read Ippo.
I don't think so.
How much worse is My Hero now? Because how much worse is Deku now? Because you read Ippo.
A lot worse.
Okay,
but that's not fair.
But before you read Ippo, Deku was like, "Oh, this is." No, I was like, "Yo, Deku."
I was always a 7 on Deku.
I used to be like an 8.5 on Deku. Yeah, and I loved Ice Shield 21, but rereading, I was just like, this is not as good as I...
Because Ippo is Ippo. Senna just hasn't had that moment of...
Oh, but one of Senna's best moments come like a fourth of the manga in.
That's too long.
And that's what I'm saying. Because with Ippo, it's just like, by chapter 7, you're like, oh my god, this guy is it. Senna does some good stuff, but it's like, it's not... I'm glad you're not watching the anime at least.
It's just... with the anchor on.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that in the manga.
There was that dude who was just like, oh, he's the spear. I was just like, I kind of want to watch the anime just so you can see him. Spear arm.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that, but it's way toned up in anime.
But just like Ippo, where he just goes, catch all the leaves. And he just catches him. He goes, I meant for him to catch him with both hands. But he did it with one. This is like, so right there, we're good.
And it's so much different from Hinata and Haiku, or not Haiku. What was I thinking? Hayako. That's what I was thinking of. Haiku, where, why are you like this? We know why Ippo's like this. He's been working literally every day, fishing, lifting, balance, strong, speed, just work faster, work harder. Yeah, that's all. Slam dunk.
Yeah, I don't like basketball.
You don't like football?
Yeah, I don't like Demon Slayer either, but we're doing that on Saturday.
We don't like Nuktaku either.
Yeah. I already said we will. Yeah, that's it.
Ewo.
I don't know what that means.
Backwards.
What about it? Are we doing a quantum thing or?
Why would you ruin a good time? We were having a good time. It
was fun. Oh, speaking of which, there was no segue. My totally legal copy of Adobe said that you're totally not using an illegal copy of Adobe.
I will totally fix that legally copy. It's
excellent.
Probably just something with a driver or something. I'll definitely handle that.
Yeah.
That's
why there was no new emos last week, because it was just I was going to make them and it was just like, hey, your legal copy of Adobe is super legal. Don't even worry about that. But we just got to check some things.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's probably something rollback or something, whatever. Yeah. If you got a passcode or something on the computer, just let me know.
It's the same one as always.
All right, then I know that at all. It's so funny if any of us die, we all know how to get into our stuff.
It is what there's good things in being that predictable though.
Yeah.
There's also bad things. Cause like I said, if somebody
you get in one, it's a Rizzy wrap.
It is over.
Yeah, it is the OV.
That's why I'm just like, okay, let me get this malware bites real quick. Cause if somebody get me, they got me. And I'm like, ain't nobody to blame for myself. I can't even be mad. Hey, enjoy, homie.
This is a wee woo.
No, I said this.
No. We're way past the initial wee woo. We got a re woo.